Welcome to a brand new show by yours truly. Now, the Classic Plus show is not dead, but it is for the foreseeable future not coming back because Classic Plus is Schrodinger's MMO. It both exists and does not exist, and until we get something more official-esque or we get closer to BlizzCon, it's entering retirement and will come back much later on. Today's show is a new show where we talk everything World of Warcraft, everything MMORPG. It's not relegated just to the hypothetical Classic Plus. With Midnight WoW, Legion Remake, Mr. Pandaria, Season Discovery's Death, and so many other interesting topics, we are going to be discussing everything and anything. And today's episode is a catch-all, no special topic, but a lot of particular topics. Now, we have the legendary Kago Gaming. You guys know him from SOD, when he refused to let the game die, and now from Mr. Pandaria, where he once again refuses to let the game die, grinding to the bitter end when nobody is left but him and the rest of the roaches. Because that's all that's going to be left by the end, like with SOD. I'm not calling you a roach, I'm saying like what's left at the end, like the apocalypse. Because you're immortal, you're unending.
All right, good save there.
It was a good save. It was a good save. I apologize. And then we have Solheim Gaming, the absolute gold making fiend. You all have probably watched his gold making guides because if you're watching a gold making guide, it's probably his. For every version of the game since I think 2019, if I'm correct.
Yeah, true.
But he streams and plays everything World of Warcraft. He's not limited to just one game mode. He jumps around like all of us do, because if you play one game mode, it's fucking dead. But thank you, Kago, for coming on. Thank you, Solheim. So we're just gonna jump into the first topic. And that topic is Season of Discovery. It has been just over half a year since it's died. And I wanted to get you guys' opinions on that. How has the classic scene been since then, in your opinion, since Season of Discovery Phase 8 is just slowly declined as everybody realized there was no Phase 9, there was no Classic Plus. That was it.
Well, first off, SOD died about 3 months ago, all right? Officially. That's when we got the post that killed it. Not 6 months. You said half a year.
My bad. I apologize.
I think this is a personal attack since I named myself the SOD Savior, so... but anyway, it left me in a weird place when it ended, because I personally obviously put a lot of time and effort and poured everything I had into it, and I even bit into that Phase 9 hype. You did also, Evan. And then it just really kind of sucked that it like ended. Like, we've never really had a popular version of WoW just stop like that. Like, yes, some have gone down, some have ended, but like it just flat out, like Agron typed a very nice letter and it just killed the game. He said, "We're done," and everybody just was like, "Okay, we're done." And that is such a unique, weird experience, and they essentially sent us to MOP, and that's where we are now. So I would love to be doing Classic Plus or SOD Phase 9, but it's been fun bringing my community over to MOP and sort of just survive until we get what's next.
And what about you, Solheim?
I mean, you're talking about SOD here, right? And how Classic has been ever since.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a lot the same way. I mean, to me, the whole problem with Season of Discovery was in the name itself, Season. And when they announced the end of that season, I mean, people are just less inclined to play. Even if you're enjoying the game, it's just like you feel like your time is not being valued, and every moment you spend is just a waste of time. So when they announced the end, people just quit. Even the last phase as well, even if it was a good phase, people just felt, why play? What's the point? And it feels bad because the numbers literally went down by 80% pretty much exactly after the message dropped. Which is never a good sign. And after that, Classic has been in a limbo state of being good and bad at the same time. Like, people are having fun, and that's lovely. Anniversary is pulling really good numbers raid-wise. But I'm leveling right now on Anniversary on PvP, and I'm feeling like all the focus is on the end game. Finding dungeons right now is barely possible. I've been leveling to level 21. I have seen about 10 people in the open world so far, after the 1.5 days of playtime. It's not optimal.
Understandable, that's fair. Which actually, you talked about the season and the name for Season Discovery.
Yeah.
In regards to the gameplay, a lot of SOD players truly like SOD. They loved it, right? But You
Yeah.
look at the Era crowd. Era is still a popular gamer. Despite Anniversary going along, the people in Era, they do GDKPs, they grind that stuff. Why does SOD not have an Era scene? It's incredibly minuscule. It's about 3,000-ish players right now. With the SOD player base loving SOD more than any other version, why wasn't there like a bigger SOD Era scene, despite them knowing nothing new was coming? Why did
That's
that...
what I'm wondering as well, dude.
What about you, Kago? You were really into that. Solheim, you go ahead.
Yeah, like it's in the name, like Season of Discovery. That should never have been the name. It should just have been Classic WoW Discovery. Because in that case, they could have said, after the season is over, we're gonna keep it as an era server. And then from the start, you are more inclined to play. And right now as well, like people are still making fresh Season of Discovery movements. Because people simply miss SOD at this point. And it would have been perfect to have a Discovery era. But even if they make it now, I feel like it's too late. Because the whole Season of Discovery was made on the premise of it being a season. So even though I want Season of Discovery era, I think it's too late to have it now.
What about you, Kago? What are your thoughts on that?
So SOD was definitely, I think it was built on hope and the potential. Like that was its greatest selling point, that we're getting new original things to explore. And we finally got that delivered with Karazhan Crypts and Scarlet Enclave. And up until the nuke was dropped, it was growing. Like it was recovering. It was going back up from the AQ Nax phase. And I just wish that we went into phase 9. It could have literally sent us to TBC for all I care, with those same twists and turns. Like I said, I would just love to see that, but I think at the end they should have called it Classic Plus Beta. I think that would have been a better name for it, because that's really what it felt like it was. Especially if you believe we are getting Classic Plus, I think that would be a really good name. Just be honest, tell people that that's what it is. We're gonna discover it all, have fun, go into it, and see what we can create. Because if we're not going to Classic Plus, then I really feel like, what the hell was the point of SOD?
Actually, this is really interesting, but I do want to ask you both a question. If they never announced Phase 8 was the end, that SOD was ending, what do you think would have happened? Assume, like, even till now, they just didn't say anything. Do you think SOD will still hemorrhage as many players, or do you think it would have stayed, like, 70, 60, 50k and stayed around 50 or 30 or 40, like, in the hopes of an eventual Phase 9? Or do you think it still would have cratered down to 3k if they had chosen not to say anything?
With everything WoW related, it eventually, like, if we don't go anywhere now, like everyone eventually gets all the gear, gets all the stuff, does it again on their second, third, fourth character, however many, and eventually it just falls off. I don't think it would crater like it did. I think would be sitting around like 40, maybe like 30 to 40,000 right now. I think would be where it'd be at. But the hard ending, like, you can always sell hope. You can't sell a hard stop end, and that's what they did. They hard stop ended it, so everybody left.
That's valid. Yeah, honestly, I do agree with that. Did you want to add anything onto that, Solheim, or not really?
I mean, it's like he says, like, whenever you make anything WoW related, especially seasons, it does wind down eventually, but we would definitely not see that big of a fall off if we had a Phase 9 eventually. Because, like, Phase 3 as well, and numbers did die down to a certain amount, but it never fully died. And Classic WoW or Season of Discovery also was kind of stable for a long while at the level 60 content, and it kept being stable for a long time. So if they had kept adding content, it would not have died. But it's a season. It was meant to happen and bound to happen. And I would argue it was probably meant to happen from the start as well. And even Phase 8 was kind of just a phase we got because they saw the success and they also wanted to add it. The main thing for me is that they gave us the additional content way too late. It's like Scarlet Enclave was a part of the selling point of the season, and we had to wait 1.5 years for it. That is not good. When it's a selling point, or one of the selling points of the season, having to wait 1.5 years for that selling point, it's like a way for them to say, look, we added what you asked for. Meanwhile, you could have added it way sooner, and made something else for Phase 8 instead.
You know, you do have a point. Makes me wonder, like, imagine in Phase 3 they had added, say like a level 50 Scarlet Enclave raid or something like that, right? Something new, unique. Do you think do you think Incursions was the main reason Phase 3 died, or do you think it was just Sunken Temple as the raid itself? Like, what do you think was the major driving point for Phase 3's failures? Was it the lack of the new content, or was it just Sunken Temple plus Incursion?
I'm gonna let Cargo take this one, and I'll add
Oh.
anything at the end.
I'm so ready for this question. Oh my god,
Yeah.
Phase 3 was freaking abysmal. They made just every choice they made was just fucking wrong, man. Like everything was just wrong. They did incursions that absolutely nuked the world. They made it to where you could level 25 to 50 at that time by just sitting in a green zone, and the mobs, like literally just grinding mobs in there because they were elite, gave you the most XP. It was just it was too good. It was a very retail-esque system where just sit here and grind, never go to the world. It literally killed the world. It didn't. We moved it up to 20-man rating, which I think they could have waited till MC for that. Sunken Temple was way too hard at start as well. Like they made, like I feel like they designed Sunken Temple at launch to just be like, haha, we got you, world first raiders. It's mathematically impossible. You can't clear the bosses. Like just so they couldn't do it day one like they'd always done with all the hype. Like that's straight up what I think they did. They just cranked the numbers to a bajillion. It was just that, like all of those things added together just led, and then Kata launching as well. Like it was like everyone already had immense despair, and then it was like, ooh, shiny new thing, let's go to this instead. And it was just a cluster. The first week of it as well, like incursions were giga broken for gold because like some percentage thing was broken and they just missed it, and it just let the people in the first 48 hours get insane amounts of gold. So if you missed out on that, you were just poor for the rest of the X pack. And yeah, that's it. That's how I feel about Phase 3.
So, Jaime said you wanted to hear Kago first before you went?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything there, and I'm just gonna add, incursions is the worst idea ever made. And I blame the entire team for that being in the game. Because one dude sat at the meeting and introduced the nightmare incursions. And the other people probably gave him the thumbs up. Like, he had to have a majority vote to put that into the game. And who play tested that and thought this belongs in Classic? You ran around, like Cargo said as well, you could kill elites to level up fast. But not just that, you could have a 5-man group and share quests. And then all you would have to do is run a literal 2.5-minute lap, 2.5 to 5 minutes, looting objects. So you could just be a pacifist, not kill a single mob, and level up at the fastest speed in the game, and pick up the same 11 objects, by the way, over and over and over and over again. And this was the best way to level fast, the best way to make gold, the best way to get reputation, PvP, and gear. Like, even PvP happened inside nightmare incursions, and also the whole ganking of NPCs. You had max levels, going back to level 25 zones, and just doing mass PvP around those quest givers. So it was the best place to do everything in the game. Like, why even explore at that point? You can just be in one place and do the same thing, and achieve everything the game has to offer, except for raids. It was antithetical to me to everything Classic WoW stands for. It took out the world, took out the need to get pre-raid bis, took out the need to farm reputations, took out the need to farm just about anything. Antithetical to everything Classic WoW stands for. And somebody putting that into the game, like, that person belongs in retail, not Classic. I'm sorry to say, like, that dude should not be anywhere close to developing Classic Plus. Like, please no, just keep it away. And also, Phase 3, Sunken Temple was such a bad raid. I learned to like it over time, but it was so bad compared to, what if we had Scarlet Enclave in Phase 3? I think having something like that sooner would have saved the season a lot, because something we saw from Phase 1 to Phase 2 was a pretty big drop-off. And Phase 3 as well, pretty big drop-off. It was also maybe the longest, most dragged out phase, which didn't really help. But if they had given us some new content in Phase 3, like Scarlet Enclave, I think that could have been really, really helpful. And apart from that, I don't really have much to say.
I know. Very in-depth hatred for the incursion and the guy who made it. But I get what you're saying. I do agree. And you're both actually correct. Because when I took a slight break during Phase 3, my guild played the whole way through, mind you. But it's like, I stopped really making videos because it was like a thing of like, the community was so negative and upset. Because like you said, incursions bested everything. One thing neither of you mentioned that I'm not sure if you guys were like, might not remember, is that the gear was not even a step up for almost anybody. There were certain pieces that every single person wanted, but for the most part, going from No Merigan to Sunken Temple was like, every gear was like, here's an extra 3 agility. Otherwise, it's the same item. Here's an extra 2 DPS. It was like, it felt, honestly, like a hard raid, a lot more grind and difficulty for effectively gear that just wasn't worth it. And when they did the gear change later on, it came, what was it, week 8? 6?
Yeah,
you remember?
It's like 6 or 8. Some like they literally just redid all the gear and juiced it up.
And the gear was really good at that point. But at that point, I remember like it was down to what, 25,000 people, and everyone was like, "Well, people are gonna come back." Nobody did.
Oh, they came back. They came back. It went
from like 25 to 30K for MC.
When we
yes.
I will say though, them increasing the gear and like the stats from the gear is a big W, because that shows that they listen to the community. I just wish they would listen sooner on other things as well, like incursions. To me, I'm just gonna keep like hitting on incursions. By the way, they refused to let that go, because even in phase 4, they kept the incursions into the game and just made it daily. But even then, the mobs inside were tuned wrongly, and the fastest way to level from 50 to 60, as many classes, was just to farm mobs inside incursions. It was just tuned very wrong, and the quest as well gave you a lot of experience, so you just went there, did the dailies, and that's all you had to do for 10 days, and then you level 60. And we also had like the invasions, whatever the name was, right? That was also very good back in phase 4, but that is a whole different topic. But incursions, man, instead of just taking them out and listening to feedback, they were so blatant on keeping them in. I don't know why.
I think if they would have gave us, if incursions were just the daily and the XP was fixed, they would have been like tolerable. I'm not gonna say good.
Yeah, they would have been tolerable. Exactly.
So we would have been able to exist a little bit.
I do think
the only thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just say, on a positive note, the only thing I liked about phase 3 was the aesthetic of incursions. I liked going in there and using the Emerald Dream assets from the original game that were left out. That was really good, and I love just you got to use those portals. You go through them, and then later they became the world boss portals. I thought that was a really good use of them, and I really enjoyed that about it. But that's about all I liked about phase 3, unfortunately.
Honestly, I think if they had taken incursions and made that as like from the get-go, you can do 5 or 10 per day. Let it be good gold, right? The 3 gold per quest would have been one thing. And like you said, like having it be the best XP for the first 2 or 3 hours, whatever, it's a bug detected, bug fixed. It would have kind of soured people, but it would have been okay. But the fact that it took them almost, what was it, 18 hours to fix the gold? Because I remember like you could farm that shit forever. I think I made 1,000 gold in like 6 hours. That was obscene for level, what was it, 50?
Yeah, like I went there late and I still took advantage of it and made like 2,000 gold.
Yeah, it was obscene.
I went there late.
Yeah, I came like 4 hours late because I didn't realize, because people were saying it's insane. And then, like, because at the time I was streaming and doing content, I wasn't paying attention. And I looked at it, I was like, damn, I spent so much time. I got my full 20 quests in my quest log, everything ready to go, the turn-ins, whatever I could farm to find to turn in for XP. I did all that shit. And people out-leveled me just sitting in incursions. And that made me mad. That actually unironically did make me mad. But no, like, go ahead.
I straight up duo farmed Oldemon as a mage and a hunter, and that's like that should have been the best way to level. Like just one pulling the thing, and incursions were beating me in that, and that's just crazy.
Do you think
I believe if you were solo farming, you probably would have beaten them, though, don't you think? If you were like actually had been testing it out or something.
So it came down to kill times, right? With a mage living bombing everything and nuking it.
Yeah.
We killed it twice as fast, and we could hit cap, for instance. We couldn't hit instance cap just straight up soloing it at 40.
Because for me, I was doing solo farming Sulfurak on a mage, and that went so fast. I did the 5 clears in half an hour, so I had to just like do something else for half an hour. I ended up leveling 2 mages at the same time, basically. So I went and did like 5 runs on one mage, logged out, and did the next mage as well, which was a really good experience with Hour, but even then incursions beat that as well.
Yeah, they were just best at everything. Like that's the best way to describe it, and we're not exaggerating. Like they were just best everything.
No, they definitely were. Like, even for a casual play, that's the worst part. Like, being amazing for sweaty people is one thing. That's a very small subset of the player base. So the fact that even the most casual of players could benefit massively from it, that was the step too far. That was like the first major retailification of the Classic Plus, like the beta. And like there's a lot wrong with Phase 3, if I'm being real, but I do think Incursions was one of the major driving points, which they did admit to that they'll never do it again. But kind of sucks that even happened, because I that's when I first met Calgo, was Phase 3, I think. Because that was when everybody was on the decline. I was like, damn, it's miserable out here. Where'd everybody go?
God, baby.
Yeah, Solid Savior. That's what it started. It started in Phase 3, didn't it?
Yeah, our birthday's like June 8th of 2024, so that was I started it on the week that it was like it hit its lowest point. In between that week of like 20k to like 15k is when I started it. I said fuck it, full send.
Fuck it, full send. And you were the Solid Savior. I think you were there until like, what was it, the week Mr. Pandaria dropped?
I did it so I did the week after the boost expired. So like once they announced the boost, I was just letting people come in and get the boost for free. And then after that, we went and did one more final week just to have everybody come and do it one last time with the 30% buff. So I guess July 7th, that week would have been my final SOD raid. And I've logged in twice just to film videos in SOD so I can revisit and look cool on my characters that have like the teeth and the horse and all the cool SOD cosmetics, because it's way cooler than just walking on a normal Meccano Strider and Anniversary. So
I have my character in Mop with the Thunder Fury with the TBC gear.
Hell yeah.
But no. So having shit on SOD enough, let's move on to the next topic right here. And this is about the private server situation with as SOD died, the private server started to pick up, right? They started to get bigger. There's like a direct one-to-one correlation of all the SOD crowd looking for somewhere to go. The private TWoW was big before that, right? It was still like growing, but like post the death of SOD, when these people had nobody where to go, TWoW really blew up and entered the mainstream of like in everybody's forefront. And now when you describe Classic Plus, the definition is effectively what TWoW is doing.
Yep.
So in you guys' opinion, having looked at and seen like the private server scene, what TWoW, Epoch, all these servers have done, like we'll discuss the lawsuit later on, but like just about the server itself, about the design philosophy and how it looks, would you describe that as that's what Classic Plus should be?
You got this, Solheim. You're way more qualified to answer this than I am.
Personally, I believe so, yeah. Like, it's maybe not everything, but a very, very big chunk of it, like 95%. They have even gone back and looked at sketches made by the actual Classic WoW developers. Not Classic, but like vanilla WoW developers from 2004. And a lot of the new content added is based on those sketches. So not only is it lore relevant and like going into the lore, they're looking at what the developers made back in the day that never got put into the game and like finishing that. So it just feels like they're finishing vanilla WoW. But then you have to ask yourself, we're making Classic Plus here and not Vanilla Plus. And even though they could both be the same thing or like in the same category, they are different. Classic WoW now as well is different than Vanilla WoW was, so you have to make a little bit of adjustments here, I think, and try to appeal more to the Classic WoW player base. And there are many questions to ask here, like should we get a dungeon finder in Classic Plus? And if so, should it be something like TWoW, where all it does is group you together, or do we actually get teleported? Should a Warlock summons be the only way to summon in Classic Plus, or should we be able to use meeting stones to summon people? What amount of class changes are we okay with? Do we want massive changes? Or do we just want some minor changes? It's all about those questions. But to me, I feel like the Reptile server, for example, has done a pretty good job. And it's very much Vanilla Plus. And then you have to ask, do you want Vanilla Plus or Classic Plus? And I think different people are going to have different answers to that question. The one thing they have, well, not the one, but like one of many things they have done right is having no layers. And I have to ask myself, why does Blizzard need that many layers on their servers? When a private server can host 13,500 people on the same layer without any problems, a multi-billion-dollar company has to have better server infrastructure than a private one. So they should be able to host even more than 13.5, and I think right now layers are capped to about 5k. So when you have 50k, you have 10 layers, right? But why does a small private server operated in a basement in China have access to 13,500 people on the same layer? Meanwhile, Blizzard can only have 5. That is very interesting, and I don't really know the answer to that one. But we need less layering, because what layering does to me, it's nice to be able to have more mob tags. It is not nice to not see people in the world. The world simply feels like a single-player game. And one more thing that private servers do really well compared to Blizzard, who does it really terribly, and I'm gonna keep shitting on them for that, they actually ban bots, and they do something about RMT. Blizzard seems to be very, very in favor of botting in RMT, because RMT keeps people coming back. You buy gold, you raid at level 60, you keep doing that as a brain-dead zombie. Just buy gold, raid log, buy gold, and pay your monthly sub. If anything, like, in the survey they have posted about Classic Plus as well, they're asking about WoW tokens already before even announcing Classic Plus. Because they're trying to milk everything they can from this. And they know people are buying gold at level 60 to raid log. So they want to get in and get a piece of that pie. I think that's it for me.
No, in depth. Kago, did you want to add anything to that?
What was the original question? Sorry.
So the original question was,
so
what are
I've
your
got
thoughts?
a broad of
He
from a
expanded the
lot of
topic.
Yeah, there's so many points.
But it was just about, you view what they've done as being like good for Classic Plus. Do you think it's a good how it is like TWoW on these private servers? But that question can be kind of shelved for now because he brought up a lot of really relevant points. Which one do you want to start with? Because they were all part of like the question list, like going into depth of the layering, the economy, the botting situation,
Yeah.
and so take your pick.
So on all that, like the botting, the layering, that stuff, I think it all comes down to the fact that Blizzard Gold has a real world value that those private servers will never have. Blizzard also has millions of players that the private servers will never have. So they can operate in a very like perfect world. They're in their own little bubble where they can have WoW done in a way that is genuine. And I think a lot of people would like. I would prefer WoW to not have RMT. I'd prefer it not to have bottings. I would prefer it to have just a real MMO where you go out and grind, and the effort you put into it, you're rewarded with. It's just I think we can see private servers be able to do that because there aren't that many people. And once again, the real world value. Yeah, they police RMT, but there's probably not very much, so they can do it. There are people who literally set up insane rigs to have like 84 computers in one room botting WoW. I think a lot of people saw it. It was when Anniversary launched. Like that was a viral clip that everybody saw. So I think those issues are just meta issues that come with popularity. And if private servers had the amount of traffic and their gold had real world value, I think we would see a lot of those there too. But like I said, they have the luxury of existing in their little bubbles with their community and can do an MMO what I believe is the right way and how I would like an MMO to be. It's just we live in reality, unfortunately.
I kind of want to chime in on the whole gold buying thing though. Blizzard could do a lot more than they currently are against gold buying. And one thing that really shows you that they just want you to buy gold and keep playing the game instead of actually like going down on gold buying. If you buy gold, no matter the amount you buy, you basically get handed a 2-week vacation. I have not heard of almost anyone getting more than a 2-week ban for buying gold. Even a friend of mine who's bought gold 10 times so far, he's been banned once. Another friend of mine has been banned 4 times over the last 5 years since 2019. All of them have been 2-week bans for buying gold, and he keeps buying, because like if he gets banned, who cares? It's a 2-week ban. It's a slap on the wrist, and do you know why you get a slap on the wrist? It's to keep you coming back, because Blizzard doesn't care. All they care about is you coming back and playing their game. They don't want to police their game, they just want you to keep playing. It's like you get a 2-week ban every single time. But one thing that I want to bring up for private servers, and this one is kind of controversial, but there's been a lot of talk about corruption on private servers, and this might also be why they are policing gold buying and gold selling so much, because there's been some corruption/controversial topics of GMs of private servers selling gold themselves, so they could actually directly benefit from not having gold buyers and gold sellers and be the only like people who provide that kind of. if that makes sense. Like, if GMs in Classic WoW sold the gold, they obviously would probably ban gold sellers more, because then they want to have monopoly.
I mean, that makes sense to me. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that makes complete sense.
That's the whole reason why we have the Shenna controversy from Elysium as well, because they were selling gold and selling items in a private server.
So, like, talking about like the botting and like the RMT issue, I've seen like people talk about it and discuss it, and the deep dive of just the amount of people botting, and for example, say retail or classic WoW. On a scale of botting and like the RMT, for example, like when people buy gold to get banned in 2 weeks, do you think if they made it so if you get caught buying even 1 gold, it's an immediate permaban? There is no coming back. You lose your account, 20-year account, 18-year account, whatever, just permanently banned. Do you think that would solve gold buying?
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, I don't think you can really target the sellers as well anymore because of the amount of AI automation tools. I think it's cost too much money to combat that. But I think if you just made it so if you buy gold, you're getting permabanned, I think that would solve gold buying. But that's just my opinion.
I agree 100%.
I am
like,
a big fan of... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if you take the risk right now and you know the only punishment is a 2-week ban, like you're way more inclined to take that risk. But if you have played a character, you're level 60, you have full best in slot, you've invested about 1,000 hours or at least hundreds of hours into your character, and you know there's a risk of a permaban, you are not taking that risk.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna say I would like a three strike policy, something like that. Give people a warning, especially if you shift to it. Like maybe the first one's 2 week, and then after it's permad. But definitely a bit. I mean, obviously, a punishment scares people. People need to be afraid. Put the fear of God in them. If you buy gold, you're gone. That would definitely it'd help mediate the problem for sure.
Like, in my opinion, okay. So this is somewhat comedic and jokey, but I do kind of mean it. If you get caught buying gold 3 times, death penalty.
Oh, damn.
Just ban it, bro.
Sheesh. Do you mean IP ban? Like something like that?
No, it's like you get banned, then you get banned, then you get banned. And then Microsoft captures you and guillotines you. Like, live on stream.
It is just a game, Evan.
You are the dumbest person.
No, but like I do think there just needs to be genuine, real consequences. Because a 2-week ban is a fucking joke. I know people, and like they'll literally, like like I'm not gonna say his actual name, Ed, but he literally just buys gold when he comes back to the game, and if he gets banned, all right, I'll just take a break till the next version of the game. And it happens. I'll get a 2-week here or there. He's like, yep, I didn't buy gold. It's got a 2-week randomly. It's not my fault. It wasn't me. Blizzard just randomly banned me for 2 weeks. How could this happen to me? And every time, like, he'll be like, hey, we're going to roll on the server and do this. And he'll be like, okay, I'm just going to buy gold. I'll be there. And if he gets banned, he gets banned. It's just, in my opinion, there's no consequence. I don't think he's ever been permabanned. I don't think he's been permabanned once. And this man probably has spent hundreds of dollars on gold, and I've never seen him get permabanned. I know for a fact he's been banned multiple times, and nothing ever happens. And like it's frustrating because it genuinely, like Solomon was saying, when it's a slap on the wrist and there's zero consequence, why does it matter? It ain't solving shit. It's just not solving shit, and it's just kind of sad that is the state of like the RMT scene. Like, do you guys believe Blizzard could actually solve this? Do you think they could actually put measures in to stop botting itself? Like, ignore the buyers, right? Let's say they're never going to permaban the buyers. Do you think it's even remotely feasible economically to ban gold buyers in today's day and age that the technology is available?
Nope.
I think the only way they win is if they develop their own AI to counter it. Fight AI with AI. It's the only way.
Or have actual game masters.
Even that, no one wants their job. Like, they create, like, AI is making bots now. Like, they just, like, a GM would sit there and just press ban all day, 8 hours a day, and then there's the bot can run 24/7, 7 days a week, whereas a real person can't.
Yeah, but if the GMs ban them fast enough, they don't generate profit on the botting, and if they don't generate profit, they will simply stop.
Maybe.
It's like they don't have to like sit there 8 hours a day all the time. It's just to get the bots to stop, and then if they ever come back, you do it again. Because if they're losing money before they actually like make money, and they get banned before they make a profit, they're not going to come back. They obviously come back because they make cash all the time.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I've had people like show me like like setups like this cost me $10,000. I make more than that a month. I now make double that per month, and I'm like, they have like the server's not even expensive anymore. Like once upon a time, 10 years ago, I'm sure running a bot farm was like a China exclusive thing because they had those prisons. You know how they even made a documentary where there's prisoners in Chinese prison which is farming gold. Back when it used to be real manual labor. Now it's not manual labor. It's genuine actual AI and bots now. So, I mean, it sucks, but it just kind of feels like it's a lose-lose situation. And that's
I don't
not
know
a
how
good
you
feeling.
win. Yeah, like I don't know how you win without making your own AI counterbot to fight the bots.
Yeah, they have to do that.
Think Max would ever write
And
that check?
I mean,
in today's
maybe.
day and age, they should be able to make that. But once again, yeah, like they're spending money to lose money.
It's a tragedy. But
No.
what would your guys' personal solution be to fix botting? Assuming you had the money and the resources and you were in charge, what would you actually do?
The problem is, if I was in charge, I would do exactly what Blizzard is doing now. Because, like, why the fuck would I spend money to lose money? If I was in charge, I would let them do exactly what they're doing, treat us like cash cows, and I would sit there on my yacht drinking champagne and laugh at you guys. That's what I would do.
Jesus Christ, Solheim. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
but
not
like
wrong.
not
No,
even
but
ironic.
you
Like,
care about the game, so you're actually trying to
oh,
fix
okay,
it.
okay.
Okay, let me
Oh,
rephrase the
okay, yeah,
question.
okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. In that case, I would spend money to hire actual GMs, and in the back end, while doing that, I would also try to develop an AI or a bot detector to get them banned as soon as possible.
I would fully invest in the AI. Maybe use GMs for now, but build that AI.
Yeah.
Have AI fight AI. It's the only like you're not gonna win it with as many people as you have.
So essentially, you guys are both just saying it's not happening. Go next.
But I
Yeah,
just
it's not happening.
we've seen it for 20 years now, like, and in these past 6 years in Classic, the most it's like I just don't see any other solution. Like you can't stop it. They're making money, and because as long as they make money, they're going to do it as long as it's profitable. So I don't know how you make it unprofitable, or you either have to fight them with the same technology they're using in the first place.
Yeah.
Well,
I still have like nightmares from back in Wrath Classic, by the way, because I was farming gold back then. I still am farming gold, but back then I was really farming gold and just played the game a lot as well. And I'm not joking when I say I saw more bots than players in Shoulder Basin. Literally, not even speaking hyperbolic, more bots than players.
I believe that.
And
I believe that because they don't really show sub numbers like that. But like
Yep.
I saw somewhere that like raid logs are 1/3 of the player base, if not less. So
But also like that was only in Shoulder Basin, which was obviously a very
right.
condensed botting zone. So I'm not saying there was more bots than players in general, but in that zone, I saw more bots than players.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
So let's move on to another topic in regards to like the private server scene. So we talked about like that, the botting scene, all that stuff. What are you guys' thoughts on, for example, what Solheim said earlier, is the vanilla plus versus classic plus? We want to keep more vanilla purity systems in regards to gameplay, grinding, going to a location, warlock summons, the grind of the world. It was designed to be a grind. Or do we want to add more conveniences while staying within that classic ecosystem? So vanilla, but it's more classic. So some quality of life features that make the game better. For example, looking for dungeon, right? We'll use that as an example. What is the max extent of looking for dungeon that you would be acceptable, in your opinion, for a classic plus?
I like what they had in Wrath, where like you make the group yourself and you actually travel there. I enjoy that, even when you have flying and stuff. But for Classic, I would take away Warlock summons because we abuse them too much. If we're not going to solve the bot problem, we need to get rid of those because everything just becomes a taxi service. And I would turn on the dungeon meeting stones instead. So like have dungeon stones be active and be working and allow people to form those groups and go out there because that's such a huge community interaction. I've met some of my longtime friends just because we did a dungeon in 2019 and I still play with them to this day. Like it's such a cool interaction that gets you out of your comfort zone, has you interact with other players because WoW is an MMO. It's meant to be played with other people. You're not on some solo journey to do that, and it makes that dungeon so much better because you found all the people, everybody's headed there, and then summoning just because Classic, you can have people all the way in, like if you're trying to do Maraudon, you can have people all the freaking way in Eastern Kingdoms, nowhere near the city. They got a 10-minute flight path, a 5-minute boat ride, and then another 10-minute flight path just to get to the other side of the world. So that's where those meeting stones I think would be really, really huge.
So I got a hypothetical. Would you guys be okay with meeting stones at, say, for example, the Zeppelin Towers or the docks? So like a summoning stone at like the Menethil docks or the Dark Shore docks, or like for example the Orgrimmar or the Undercity Zeppelin Tower. So not in like capital cities. Like would you, or maybe even there, like would you guys like there to be summoning stones so you can summon people to the cities? Because you remember how like if you look at trade chat, it's summoning Orgrimmar, summoning Undercity, summoning Thunderbluff, summoning Stormwind, Ironforge, Darnassus, 8 gold, 5 gold, 4 gold, whatever. What are your opinions just adding a summoning stone directly to each capital?
If the stones are on, then RFC for Orgrimmar works and Stockades for Stormwind works, and from there you can get anywhere. So I would just turn the stones arm, and I think they would be fine. I think Classic is about the journey, right? Like you need to go on that journey. It's supposed to waste your time in quotes, but that's what makes so many moments so special because it's doing that, and you have to build up for it.
Right, but the question is, will the Classic player base actually do? That's what I'm saying, because like that's sticking to that idea of like the vanilla world, people cared about the journey. Based on what you've seen, do people care about that journey still? Because everything I've seen about Classic is endgame this, endgame that, fast, efficiency, speed. There is no slow gameplay anymore. People don't care about that, or it doesn't seem as much as that people care about that. So who are we making Classic Plus for? The majority who play at such an efficient, fast-paced level, or for an audience that may or may not exist in large enough numbers to justify a Classic Plus project, who care about the journey and the world?
I think we need to do both, but the thing is, if you're focusing on the end game, like if you want to please the people that only care about the end game, just focus on the leveling journey, and then add end game content over time. Because if you're doing a staggered release anyway, they're gonna go through Molten Core, then BWL, then they're gonna go through AQ, then Noxramus. They're gonna go through all of those raids before we get any, like probably more raids afterwards, and they can focus on the leveling journey first, and then focus on the end game later. But I would say focus a lot on the leveling journey, because everyone is going to level anyway. And even if you only care about the end game, well, fuck you, get fucked. Just, we're forcing you to actually play the leveling journey here. And if you only care about the end game, you're going to play the leveling journey anyway. You're just going to do it in a different way and just care about optimizing.
Exactly. Force them to do it. If they want to get to their, like, it makes their in-game experience more rewarding because they had to do it. They had to dedicate. On top of that, get rid of boosting. Like the Psalm changes for mage boosting. Like we need to make it to where you can't pay to win, and everyone's gonna try it. Like you make it to where people actually have to play the game and design a good game that people want to play. That's what, like, we look at 2019, the explosion. It was awesome before everyone figured out how to boost, before everyone started RMTing, before we saw all of that. And I'd imagine back in 2004 and all that, it was even better. And that's what people miss, and that's what people want. So you just have to design the game in a way where people have to play it and not just swipe their credit card to get boosted.
Yeah. And mage boosting can be fixed exactly like you said. Either Season of Mastery changes, or do what the Reptile server did, literally ban it. So you can still boost your friends, but you can not like advertise it, and if you do, you get reported and banned. But I think Season of Mastery changes is easier because then Blizzard doesn't have to do any actual customer service support. They can just put in the changes and now you simply can't boost anymore. Or fix the ledges and the broken mob pathing.
Fair. What about GDKP on that context? So talking about banning, like, the RMT and the boosting and the this and that, and like, the mage boosting and all that stuff. So you have to play in a specific way. What about GDKP and Classic Plus?
If they actually do something about RMT, yeah, I don't mind having GDKPs. The only problem is that things get super expensive because people swipe their credit cards. So if they actually start enforcing banning people for RMT and maybe start actually perma-banning as well for buying gold, I wouldn't mind. And I mean, we have seen, if you just talk about Season of Discovery, Phase 1 to Phase 2, they banned the GDKPs, raid numbers went down about 4 times. Went from being 500 to 600k down to 100k pretty much instantly. Now, that's not all GDKPs, like it's obviously we going from level 25 to level 40, but a lot of people simply quit due to not having GDKPs. And on Anniversary right now, we also don't have GDKPs, and the raid numbers are a little bit less than they probably could have been if we had the GDKPs. But it's a controversial topic where some people like it and some people hate it. And I feel like you're on one side or the other. It's almost impossible to be in the middle, because I feel like if you really like it, you really, really like it, and if you hate it, you really, really hate it. It's something I see in my comments as well. Like, some people really love GDKPs and they will only play the game if it has GDKPs, and then you have a lot of people that absolutely hate it and will not play it if it has GDKPs. It is arguably the most controversial topic of all time.
I personally dislike GDKPs mainly because of how pay to win the economy is. I did GDKPs from Nax 2019 all the way up until Wrath, and when I went to Sod instead of Kata. And the amount of just RMT and corruption and buying gold, like I literally knew multiple people who made it their full-time job to GDKP and just sell the gold, and they literally survived off of it. So I can't see, like, and that's every group I've been in. It wasn't just one group. I was in multiple groups and organizations that ran it. So I see the corruption, and with botting, RMTing, all that, I don't like GDKP in a world where all of that is there, because GDKP is the best. It is the best system. Like, why would anyone raid for free when you can get paid to raid? It wins 10 out of 10 every time for anyone with a brain, and that makes sense. Like, I can't fault people for wanting to do it. I just think it's terrible for the game.
That's only when people buy gold, right? So if they actually start giving out permabans for buying gold, then it's maybe more okay.
Yeah, or like just how people, like, if the gold is ethically acquired, like you went out there and farmed it, and then you went out there and then spent your gold to get gear, I am fine with that because you spent the hours farming the gold. When you're just swiping your credit card, instantly getting it, and then going to raid log, get carried in the raid, buy your gear, and say, "Look, I'm full bis," having done absolutely nothing, it devalues everyone who's actually playing the game. It devalues your experience. It devalues everyone who's out there going and doing that.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, the GDKP scene it's so good that it kills every other version of raiding period in the story, in the sense that nobody loses unless you're not trying at all. Like, because you do only get a cut if you're actually performing. Like, you can't just rock up as a DPS, as a carry, and not carry. You don't get gold if you do that. But like, for everyone that's performing and coming, if an item you want drops, you can roll on it. Otherwise, you get gold from everybody else buying stuff. So no matter what drops, you benefit. No matter what happens, you benefit. Just by virtue of being there, it's too good to the point of it invalidates everything else. It's like a technological advancement that kills an industry. That's what GDKP did to pretty much every other form of raiding. You'll still do those other forms of raiding, don't get me wrong, but like, the majority of the player base will be doing GDKP. So in my opinion, I think it has to stay banned. Whether they fix RMT or not, I think GDKP needs to stay permabanned. Even if they fix the botting or the gold selling and all the issues, I think GDKP needs to stay banned, because I think it's antithetical to the goal of a guild and a community and how raiding should be. It does incentivize alt. It does make people want to play more and like grind more because you always rewarded. But it's, in my opinion, anti-community and anti-World of Warcraft.
Breaking news: Ebonheart's viewership went down 50% as all GDKP lovers simply left.
I'm not saying I'm correct. I'm not saying I'm correct. I'm not saying listen to me. In my opinion, I think GDKPs are not good for the overall health and spirit of the game because it was never designed to be played where the raiding is completely and absolutely efficient for every single person going. Sometimes you were meant to just come to raid and get nothing because you were there to hang out with your guild and your community and to grind. I'm not saying GDKP is terrible. I 100% get that if everything was solved, it would be good for the game. But even if they fixed everything, I still think it should stay banned, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Based.
Oh, well, so if everything's fixed, why do you just think it would be
I still think I think it's too efficient. I think it's still, no matter how you look at it, it does incentivize to a degree RMT. Even if they fix it, and don't get me wrong, if they fix the botting and the RMT, you wouldn't be able to do it. But it's so good of a system that it makes every other system be inefficient and like terrible comparison. Put in perspective, I could ask, there's what, 150 people, 200 people watching right now? If your options were no RMT, non-boosting, none of that shit, properly served with GMs and shit, would you do soft reserve, GDKP, or a loot council guild? Most people would type either soft reserve or GDKP, and I bet most people would type GDKP instead. And that's my opinion. I just think it's too good of a system. And that's just my opinion on the fact. Again, I'm not correct. I'm not saying I'm correct. I feel like that's...
Yeah, no, I just am against GDKP in the world we're in right now because it there's too much. If your gold was ethically earned and you actually had to progress, then I'm okay with that because that's just as good as a loot counselor SR. Like it equalizes it because you have to actually go out there and farm the gold and become rich and do it ethically instead of just swiping your credit card.
You know, I've changed my stance because Eben said about 5 times that he's not correct, so now I believe that he's not correct and he's wrong.
Okay, all right.
So
Yeah,
I'm just
Evan's
anti-Eben
wrong.
right now.
I just wanted to clarify because like, people get really heated. We're like, you think you know better than me? Because actually, I made a video about this, by the way. I made a video saying I was talking about WoW token and gold buyers, and I thought it would be a non-controversial video because the topic of the video was if you buy gold, you should get permabanned. And people said, how dare you tell me how to play? I work a full-time job. I have a family and kids. I just want to raid in PvP. I'm not trying to farm gold. I want to buy my gold and play the game. Who are you to tell me what to do? And I thought to myself,
No, but...
what the fuck is wrong with you people?
No, but like I can confirm this though. Eben does not think that he knows better than you. He knows that he knows better than you.
Yeah, I mean, of course I'm better than you. I'm correct. But like, I didn't want to do that clarification there because people get really upset about the GDKP topic. Probably the most death threats I've gotten was based on GDKPs and WoW token, like gold buying and gold selling. Those 2 topics have gotten me so much hate. It's not even funny.
Same. Also, yeah, there's somebody in chat and me asking a question right here. One problem with GDKP is that it's based on bids. What if there was an official GDKP system in place where every item having a set price and a server handling the gold share and so on, so there's no ninja, no corruption possible? Try asking the others on Discord what their opinion is on such a solution, and if it's even possible.
I fucking love that. If that was how it would work. So you can't overbid, underbid. I mean, I guess you could bid more like in the in-game system, but it's like,
yeah,
I think a official built system could be good, but it's hard for me to truly say if it would be good. I'd have to see it because it would have to be something that Blizzard make and then it works.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Blizzard's gonna put the right resources into making a working GDKP system.
Yeah, I mean they made Nightmare Incursions, so.
And when he says like just set price, does it mean the price can't go up?
That is a good question. I don't know. I read it that way, but to me that just seems like whoever bids first wins.
Whoever bids first wins.
Yeah, literally. If the item is 100 gold, then it's all about bidding first and you win. It's like a buyout price.
I mean, it could be interesting. I'm not gonna say like yes or no against it. It's on his, if it's just a set price, whoever clicks the buyout button first wins.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that. But I feel like with certain tools and systems built into the game, I would be for it. Actually, you know what? I want to jump to a topic that's gonna piss everybody off. We went from one pissed off topic to another one. Banning of all add-ons.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
About it.
I
Yeah,
mean, they're basically doing it in retail, aren't they? Not all, but like many gameplay add-ons.
Like in my opinion, I feel like I'm gonna like, I don't agree with this, but for the sake of the conversation, I need to take the other side so we can actually discuss it. I think they should permanently ban every single add-on, like all add-ons. There should be no add-ons available. It should be all systems built into the game. So details is in game, this is in game, that is in game, but like no add-ons at all. Yes or no?
I'd love to see these people raiding without their add-ons. Like, I don't know in a world how people do raid without DVM at this point, or a WeakAura telling you everything to do. Add-ons have a place. I usually use a lot of informational add-ons personally. Like, I don't really do any of the UI overhauls, stuff like that. I just do a lot of things that tell me what stuff is. And it's just really, like, the further you go as well, the harder it is to track everything. I could probably do Classic without add-ons. Like, the fights aren't that hard. I could tell people what to do when mechanic XYZ happens. But, like, at TBC, doing, like, SSC and TK, I probably would need DBM. Like, there's just too many mechanics that are too important, and the game doesn't do a good job of letting you know. Like, they just put a living bomb not being called out on in MC, right? Like, people would have to look at their debuff bar, see they have that, and then they would nuke the raid. Like, they would need for me to get rid of add-ons, add a ton of core features in the game. And when we look at retail, they have put a decent amount in to make that better, but in a classic sense, classic needs add-ons.
So what add-ons do you think Classic needs? So assume they're going to build these into the game. What add-on does Classic need? Because you can't have any other add-ons. These are built into the game itself.
Details
These
and
are-
DBM.
Yeah, and a built-in add-on that takes you to a gold buying website. I think that needs to be there.
I clarify that I don't agree with this. I'm doing it for the sake of conversation. I do think banning every add-on is stupid as fuck, but I think because retail's effectively banning almost every add-on, but they're building a lot of them into the game itself. It's not going through immediately. The end goal is to ban all add-ons, but right now they're just building all of them into the game. So I'm talking about Classic Plus in this context. Do you really need this many add-ons if the game was designed properly? Like bigwigs, details, weak auras. If the game wasn't designed with having 17 billion mechanics happening at once, and the fights were designed to be more clear and visible, would you even need those tools?
We need a built-in add-on for DBM boss mods or something like that. We need a built-in DPS meter and a bag non-add-on, because I need everything in one big bag. If I don't have one big bag, I'm quitting.
At this point, there's just so many people who have grown accustomed. Like, most add-ons are informational and customizable. Like, some are rating add-ons, dungeon add-ons, like DBM, details, stuff like that. But a lot of them give you so much information and change your UI to the point where if they took away those things, people would be really sad. Like, people rely on them, they use them, they need them at this point because I don't think they've played the game without them, honestly. Like, go try and play vanilla WoW with all your add-ons turned off. It is one of the hardest things you'll do. Like, no questy, do no questy and do vanilla WoW. Have fun.
I did that for a challenge to level 20. It's fucking dog shit.
Only a red paladin.
Yeah,
I'm at 52 on my hardcore raw dog warrior with everything turned off and no looking up anything. It's going great.
It's absolutely fucking terrible experience.
Terrible.
Yeah, I did it to like, what was it, like 18 or 17? Like I didn't even hit 20, and I was just like, I'm not doing this shit. Because I was in the Barrens. I was like, what the fuck are you want me to go? What is this quest?
There's a reason he's at 50, 50, 60. He's brutal. It's just grind things.
But no, so like that was. Go ahead.
Eben could never do that with 10-minute Eben.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
I actually play the game. I played the game. God damn.
Live for how long you been live for? Like 3 hours? Have you played WoW yet?
We're in the middle of a show right now. I will be playing afterwards, not right now. Okay,
So he's
let's. Okay, we're moving on to the next topic. So I do want to now touch on, before we touch on like Classic Plus and like your vision and your thoughts on like what it should look like now that we have so much more information and like points to look at. I want to talk about retail WoW right now. The War Within Season 3 has come out, like, you know, the War Within, like, it's been an interesting experience. Some of you played Phase 1 or Season 1, some of you have played Season 3 and whatnot. And then you have the Legion Remix and Mop Remix and things like that. And then we have Midnight WoW coming around the corner. What are your thoughts on Midnight WoW as an expansion, as an upcoming expansion, based on what you've seen?
I can't wait to build a house and host raves. Let's go.
Yeah, same. Like, housing to me, you have no idea how long I've been asking for housing. There's a video on my channel from 5 years ago with like really bad voice Solheim talking about housing, describing it pretty much exactly like it's coming out now. So I'm hyped. I'm stoked for housing alone, and then Midnight as well, looking like a really good expansion with focus on Blood Elves, my favorite race. It's gonna be good. Going back to Silvermoon as well, checking out the corrupted Ghostlands and the Eversong Forest. It's gonna be a good time. And based on the War Within so far, I've played Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3, and it's been pretty nice. And if they just keep the feedback loop they have gotten so far in the War Within in Midnight, it could be one of the best expansions we've had in quite a long time. So I'm hopeful. I'm really, really hopeful.
What about you, Kago?
I told you, I can't wait for housing. It's gonna be so much
That's it,
fun.
just housing?
I don't really know what else is coming, bro. I've been playing Classic for 6 years. House is the only thing I really know what to look forward to and get hyped about, man.
Okay.
It's gonna be Mythic Plus and some raid, and we're gonna go get them Zalatos, but that's about it.
So you're not really excited for Midnight WoW?
I don't really know enough to get excited about it, right? Like I said, I've dabbled. I've done like the first season of Shadowland. I've like done the first and last season of them all and play a little bit and like sort of see everything, but like I don't think it's changed since Legion ended, honestly. Like every season, everything seems the same. Housing seems exciting. That's about it. Other than that, they just kind of put you on your hamster wheel of recycled everything. Like you're doing your Mythic Plus. They don't even make a whole new set of dungeons anymore. They just give you like four of the newer ones and then 4 of the older ones.
Yeah, but that's lovely though, using old content.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what else to be excited for other than the brand new feature. And apparently, housing isn't even the keystone feature. Like something like bounties or some shit is, which I don't even know what that is.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm tilling my farm, man. I live in Pandaria.
Taking opinions about retail WoW having nothing from a man playing fucking Mr. Pandaria doing his farm on 9 characters. What a timeline. Yeah. What a timeline.
For me, it's like, I'm really excited about Midnight, but I'm obviously pretty much a retail Andy I'm a retail Andy and classic Andy, right? I'm playing both versions. And to anybody who's trying to say that I'm trying to switch over from classic to retail, I started my channel doing Rocket League, and then I made retail content for a year before classic came out. So like, I love retail, and I've played retail for a long time. It's just, I keep going back and forth, right? I play classic until I burn out, then I go to retail until I burn out, and just keep this cycle repeating. It's a good lifestyle though, because like when I get bored of WoW, I go and play a different version of WoW, and just keep playing WoW, and keep subbing to Blizzard, and they love me for it. Good times.
Actually, this is an interesting question because you're talking about burnout and like the versions of WoW, and you said this earlier. It might be the best version of WoW in a long time.
Yeah, the best expansion in a long time. Yeah.
So
in retail,
assuming Midnight WoW is actually phenomenal, it's Legion caliber, if not better. Do you see yourself playing that long term, Kago, or is it still, no matter what, at this point, as a classic Andy, just it's a placeholder till Classic Plus or another better new MMO? Like, do you ever see yourself giving a shit about retail WoW in the long term?
I mean, if my community all comes, we get a bunch of people playing, the channel's doing well, that might motivate me to stay, but it would be all external factors. My heart is in Classic. I love Classic, and that's where I think it'll lie. I just, retail just has, ever since Legion, like it was great in Legion once, but after that, it's just everything since Legion has been these relatively same hamster wheel of raid, Mythic Plus, etc., etc., etc. Is some form of borrowed power. You go to some isolated continent island to go do this reputation for the story, which after Shadowlands, I don't even care about the lore. They kind of shit on everything. So like I don't know. Like I have too many things that spoiled retail for me to like have that spark, that drive, that passion that I have for classic. And I don't know how to explain it any other way. But I hope like I don't like it's not I am hoping retail fails. I'm hoping retail is going to be bad. My heart just lies with classic.
That's
It's an okay take. The only thing is, many of the things you just said, I can repeat the same things, and it's a classic problem as well. Because like classic right now in Mist of Pandaria, you're basically doing the same thing we've done in classic, right? It's you level to max, you gear up, you do raids, you raid log. And in classic WoW, we grind the gear at max level to get gear and do raids, and that's about it, right? In TBC, you get reputations, you start getting geared, you do raids. Then you raid log and repeat the same thing on next character. And many of the TBC reputations, they are no longer relevant in Wrath. Wrath is no longer relevant in Cataclysm, and Cataclysm is no longer relevant in Mist of Pandaria. So you're always isolating yourself on a new continent, doing that continent and those raids, and those reputations, which is exactly what retail is doing as well. But retail has gone down a path of being way too fast-paced compared to classic. And it's also two different, like, game styles.
That's
It's almost like two
exactly.
different games right now.
It's the pace for me. Like it's like I go there, I play for a month, the next patch comes out and everything I did was just a waste of time because there's
Yeah.
catch up. I can get all this stuff. Like it feels like I'm just perpetually on a super turbo hamster wheel wasting my time. Whereas in TBC, you brought up that like if I'm a mage and I go and farm Threlmar Exalted, I can use that I can use that web till I get my Kara dagger or my Gruul's Lair
Yeah.
weapon. But even if I'm not even if I'm terribly unlucky, I could use that all the way to Black Temple because it is still a good piece of gear, even though it's not BIS. In retail, I think if you use anything like when the next season comes out, they just straight up like your gear just doesn't work, right? Like your season one gear's ass, and like tier bonuses don't work, stuff like that. Or is that wrong? I don't know if that's
no, that
wrong or
is
not.
correct. That is correct
Yeah,
right now.
like they just
But
turn off all your
isn't MOP the
shit and they
same?
say, "Go no, you can use your previous tier set and your previous gear in the dungeons." You like we're gonna be sitting at 517 eye level, which is almost normal TOT when we go into Throne of Thunder. Normal TOT is 522 raw, so we're gonna be at 517 with the 509 heroic pieces. So like we're gonna go into there and all the stuff that we did previously, we will have and we will keep and we'll be able to experience it. And it's that system of progression and that system of I'm spending my hours investing in this character, and it does carry forward to some degree. Obviously, we're on the never-ending vertical progression. I'm not denying that, but in classic, it just feels so much better than running on a hamster wheel. And well, like I said, this is just how I feel about
No,
it. I don't know if I'm wrong or
I
right. It's just my opinion and why my heart lies with classic opposed to retail, and I can't get excited for it. Housing is the most excited I've been. I'll admit that. Like I'm actually looking forward to giving a retail expansion a real try, but also it could be community factors as well. I have a full blown community that'll go there with me, and I'll have content to make and really enjoy it.
I just want to point out something for a retail player who plays more than 10 minutes per day. The tier sets still work, by the way, from the old season. They still work the next season, and also in retail right now, it's very much like in Mist of Pandaria, where if you have done the previous tier of content on the highest level or the next highest level, that is still relevant in the next season as well. It's just like it gives you a starting point where you still want to grind. And comparing that to Mist of Pandaria, for example, if you have in tier 1 in Mist of Pandaria, or like whatever, like the current raid tier, if you raid on normal or heroic, your gear will still be relevant when Throne of Thunder comes out, right? It won't be great or best in slot, but it will be relevant, and some trinkets will still be best in slot. And it's kind of the same way in retail, where some trinkets just have very good pop effects, or like on-use effects, or proc effects, that are simply still great until you get a better version of that one. in the next season. So what you do in the current season does still hold value in the next one, but the value is diminished. But the same thing can be said for Mr. Pandaria.
Fair enough.
So the question I then have is, because like you said, I personally want Classic Plus, right? Like, but the issue is when you're talking about like this gear train, like, you know, it's, you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to the next level of raid, and you're gonna move on. It's all gonna be forgotten and left behind. And we already know like how the exact progression and treadmill and everything is going to be back to back, right? The same could be said for a fresh relaunch of Classic, or relaunch of TBC, or relaunch of any Classic version. You know exactly what you're going to do, step by step by step. And don't get me wrong, I'm actually really hyped for TBC Anniversary. I'm really going to play the shit out of it. I'm actually excited to, because I had IRL stuff the first time Black Temple and all that happened, so I didn't actually get to do it. I'm really excited to fully go through everything this time around. But like, how is that any different? Aside from like some of the gear lasting longer, is the average guild going back and running running Gruul and Magtheridon's Lair while they're in Black Temple or Sunwell? Most of them aren't. You might do for alt runs to gear up a friend or whatever, or a casual guild or a pug. But how many people in Sunwell are going all the way back and doing tier 1? Or tier 4 in this case?
I'll let you two handle this, because I took a long break in TBC Classics. I don't remember what our guild did, and I also didn't play in Phase 3, 4, and came back in Phase 5.
Yeah, DST is like DST from Gruul.
DST, of course, right.
Strong. You use that for a while, but like there's always those one-off items. Like you have Onslaught Girdle and Classic. Like those things are really, really good, and a lot of items do have really niche purposes in TBC. You're trinket swapping. You're doing so many things to really maximize. Like if you're truly sweating, you can get like the best example I have. This isn't TBC, but Classic, like Toep. You're cycling that to use on your AQ trash. Like by then you're not using it on the bosses, but you flop a Toep on, you use it, you're blasting bugs, and then you switch your Toep for your ZHC or Neth's tier or something else, so you get that big damage to parse on trash. And there's that keeps items relevant that you're gonna cycle through and stuff like that. You do that in TBC as well. Like you Mind Quickening Gem in Classic is so good you can use it in TBC. Like that haste buff is insane, because haste is just one of those stats that's super rare. Like you can bring in a Mind Quickening Gem from Blackwing Lair all the way into TBC.
It does get changed in TBC though, right? From being a flat percent, or like from stats to, like, the stats get changed.
It changes, but it's still valuable to swap on because of all the haste.
So, but my question was, when you look at the way the average person plays, like I'm not talking about the sweatiest people, right? Yeah, of course you go back and farm DST or your Onslaught Girdle because, you know, there's 27 warriors in a really sweaty guild or whatever. I'm talking about for the average guild, for the average player. Like, are we looking at Method and Echo and Liquid doing like 16 split runs as a regular for the new raid tier? That's not regular content, that's the highest level. For the average person, who's actually going back and farming the first couple raid tiers? I get what you're saying. The gear lasts a long time. The gear can be kept for a while. But even in, for example, in season 3 of the War Within, some people didn't replace their trinket until they got the higher level version of the same trinket. It doesn't matter the eye level, the new item might be cool or fancy. Until they got the exact same trinket at a high eye level, they would keep the trinket because of the effect it had. So that does carry over into retail as well in the current gameplay as well. Sure, not from season 1, of course, to season 3. I'm not trying to defend retail here. I'm just the mentality of it's a treadmill, everything is forgotten and ignored. The Classic player base plays Classic the same way retail is as a game.
Retail is different. Like Classic and retail are different. They do hold many of the same values, kind of, but Classic, the gear is more relevant later. You can do something in Phase 1 and it's still good in Phase 5, for example, like some of the items, especially trinkets, especially like Mind Quickening Gem, and many trinkets are really valuable really late. And that is only trinkets, but some weapons as well are really good to have later in the game as well, compared to right now. And one thing I really like about Classic though is that you actually farm items over here, and they have different names. In retail, to me, like, I don't even remember a single name of a single item. Actually, I do. We have the Sackbrood from Arakara or something like that. Like
yeah,
the Sackbrood
Sackbrood, yeah. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's the only item that I know the name of in the last 3 expansions, because they're all the same. You farm a ring, it's a ring. You don't care what the fuck the name is, and when the next season comes out, you farm the same ring with a different item level. They've taken away the meaning of the items in retail. In Classic, you know the names. You know what a Thunder Fury is. It is not just a sword you pick up, and you can pick up a new sword in the next season. You know what Thunder Fury is.
Did
I
you
don't
say
know a
Thunder
single name in
Fury?
retail.
And the Fury
Yeah.
Blizzard Blade, the Windseeker. And no, like I
Did
said,
someone
I
say?
do agree that the items feel more impactful and more important. And it feels like when you win an item, it matters. Like right now, when I lose a roll and like a plus 12 or whatever, when there's no rolls, like I just don't get something out of a chest. I'm just like, dang it, let me run it again, and I move on. But when you lost the DST, your guild imploded. When Thunder Fury piece went to like the wrong person, guild imploded. When Onslaught Girdle went to the shit warrior, believe it or not, guild imploded. The whole point was like, I do think that the gear pieces are much better, but my point wasn't about the gears, it was about how we play the game in Classic.
Yeah.
The community, Classic community plays Classic in the same way a retail player plays retail. Efficiency, maximize, best gear, best piece, fast as possible. They don't care about the quality of the item or the journey of the item. They care about getting the item to go next.
I disagree with that, man. I think retail is so me, go, and I think Classic is wee, slow. Like
I disagree with that one again. Like Classic right now has gotten so much me. Like people are hard reserving things left, right, and center 24/7 every single time. It's gotten way me. Like it depends on the community you're in, but the amount of hard reserves right now, people are their own main characters, and everybody else are not even side characters, they're NPCs. If you have a good guild, like I'm really happy that you do, and not talking to you here, by the way, like people in general, if you're in a good guild, it could be we, but for the most part in Classic, it's a lot of me right now, dude. People are their own main characters, and other people simply don't matter.
And that could be true, and that it sucks to see that. I'm obviously speaking from 2019 because I haven't done I did anniversary for the first month and then went back to SOD. Like I was not enjoying it at all.
Good choice.
So I see what I did with my community. Like it wasn't even me as Kago building a community back then. Like I was just raiding in a guild, and I just made a lot of good friends there that I still play with to this day. They still stop by. I still talk with them, and like I guess I am skewed since I started the Savior Project, and I've been doing that and building a community where we can be a we and not a me. I just think retail promotes so much solo play, so much like, oh, my friends are ass, I'm just gonna go pug this with better people that I can literally look up their Raider IO because it's built in the game. I can just get people with a higher score to go do this Mythic Plus dungeon with me and not really have to worry about my friends. And in Classic, you're kind of limited on the people you can get. You have no score. You don't know until they're actually in your raid struggling. It's like, do I kick this guy mid raid and find his replacement, or do I plow through the rest of the raid and see what we can do?
There's there's many ways to go about that, I guess. So look.
I mean, no, one more thing. Like in Mists of Pandaria right now, the game has gotten so me. I mean, we had this is not just me, by the way, speaking from my point of view, but like we had massive Reddit threads, YouTube videos, and also big streamers reacted to this as well. It's gotten so much me that big guilds would queue as 3 people for Celestial Dungeons, and they would kick you in the middle of a boss fight on the last boss because they wanted loot.
Yeah,
and you would simply didn't matter to them.
And that's a horrible precedent. I've even spoken out against this many times. Like, you should not be able to do that. And the shortcoming is a mixture of the community as well as them having the requirements so low. Like, obviously, if it's a selfish kick because they're rolling on the same piece of gear as you, that's shitty. That should not happen. I hate when that shit happens. But I'm just a person, right? Like, I can't stop that mindset. I can only speak out against it, and it's shitty when that happens, but you're absolutely right, it does happen. And the only other thing is, like, if they're truly queuing at 435, because that's the minimum requirement to go in there, and they are truly a bad player that is getting carried, that one I can agree with. But also, they get slapped with a 30-minute deserter buff as well for getting kicked, which feels bad too.
Yeah.
But I think that's less about MOP and more about them new modern audience because, like in Classic, I can guarantee you right now, if in Anniversary, you could be farming here and you could do that and still get the loot, and the guy couldn't roll on the boss or whatever, people will be doing that at Anniversary as well. I think it's just a modern player mindset of the me-me-ness, because Classic was never designed as a me-me-me game, ever. Classic was not designed with 27 warriors. I know that's a meme. I know people bring 13, not 27. They bring 13 or 11 warriors, right? But like, it was never designed to be played this way. And my whole point wasn't that Classic WoW was worse than retail or whatever, because I prefer Classic. I'm just not going to play Anniversary for the 6th fucking time. MOP is a worse version of retail, in my opinion. I stand by that. I know it's a different game, but MOP is a halfway step of no longer being Classic whatsoever, but it has none of the features or quality of life that makes retail WoW fun for me at the moment. I'm not saying, again, the people that enjoy Panda Land, I'm happy for them. It's a good game for the people that enjoy it and want to grind it. Not for me at all. Anniversary, as soon as as soon as TBC pre-patch hits, I'm rolling up and I'm going hard. But like, in the meantime, as a player that just loves WoW, I see the community in every single version of the game. It's not a great community anymore, because the game went from being ginormous. It's sure, go ahead.
In TBC, are you gonna go so hard that you become 30-minute Eben?
He might.
No, I'm very likely playing with either Cargo or Hammer, and I'm just gonna play like a mid-level player. I'm not gonna super sweat. I'm gonna go do all my reputations to Exalted, like I did when TBC first launched. I got every rep to Exalted. I got all my stuff. I got all my pre-bis. I was fully decked out. By the end of phase 1, I had everything bis. Every item possible. But
Evan's gonna reach max level.
Okay, guys, calm down. But like, and just chat like level 63 Eben. Okay.
That's a mob joke, because okay. You're still 89.
I'm 89, 85%, and I have 200% rest of the
89 Eben.
Yeah, 18. Okay. But the whole point is with TBC, I'm going to play at a decent level. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, the first time around I went super turbo sweaty. The second time around, like, I'm not going to inconvenience people with me needing to be carried because I'm in greens and the blues and rocking up to raid. I'm still going to go get pre-bis. But if one item has like a 2% drop chance and I've been grinding, I'm not going to sit there and just be like, I need to run this dungeon 1,000 times to get this one item. I'm going to be like, I am 3% worse than I could have been, and I'm okay with that. So like, I'm going to get as many things to pre-bis as close to humanely possible, but I'm not going to min-max down to the smallest T for TBC second time around. Going back to what I was saying about the community and the gameplay and all, I just think the community and the whole, like the player base as a whole, has like bastardized and perverted what it means to play Classic and what Classic's whole spirit and ideology is. I think if you showed a vanilla player the current Classic player base, they would say, what the fuck is this abomination? It is a far cry from how World of Warcraft was designed. To put in perspective, if people were playing Classic WoW, vanilla WoW the same way right now that they were in 11.2, they would have patched the shit out of most of this gameplay. Almost all of it would have been patched out by 11.13. By 1.13. People of this mind said that this is Classic, this is peak, this is perfection. But this is not how Classic was ever meant to be played.
Do you think that like the reason people are so me, hard res, all this stuff is because we are on the 5th, or if you count hardcore, like the 5th fresh launch in like 6 years, like this, I think this is what that is. I mean, we had 2019, we had Psalm, we had Sod, we had hardcore, and now we have anniversary. So like, this is the 5th iteration of Classic, where people are fresh launching and they just want all the stuff, right? Like they just want it. Do you think that could weigh into it?
I think to a degree, I think it's just modern gaming now. I don't think it's a WoW exclusive problem, because I see this in a lot of games, right? For example, I'm not sure if anybody here played League of Legends Season 1 when it first came out. I did. I played the beta as well. Or was it the alpha, whatever?
I did as well.
It was fun, and don't get me wrong, when you were bad, you still got flamed. But I remember people being bad at the game And instead of somebody going, kill yourself right now, they would be like, hey man, just so you're aware, you shouldn't build that. I would recommend this. Or hey man, that's not the right route. I'd say do this. Or they'd add you after a game and help you. Nowadays, if I get a friend request after the end of a league game, I'm not accepting that friend request. Because I know what he's about to type to me. And it's not advice. I can guarantee right now it's not advice.
Unless you went 20-0, then they just want to
then
get carried.
Then like it's like, hey man, good shit. But if I say I end the game 5-3-7, I did okay, but I didn't carry, and my top laner who's 2-9 adds me, I'm not accepting that.
You know what's coming.
Yeah, I know what's coming. But my point was like, as the world has become this always online, always modernized, always like grinded out like methodology of me, fast, efficiency, me, I deserve me. It belongs to me. I'm the main character. I think it's fucked up. I think it's just fucked up how gaming has become a thing. And the only honest advice is play with like-minded people. Like when I play with you, or I play with Hammer, or I play with any other friends of mine, I know for a fact when I go into raid like that. Yeah, I know for a fact if I rocked up and I was underperforming so severely because, oh my god, I'm a content creator. Yeah, I expect you'd be like, Eben, I love you as a friend, but I'm benching your ass. That would be fair. But if I rock up as an average player, I'm performing, I'm doing well, I'm not like really being a complete shitter, but I'm not amazing, you guys would be like, yeah, cool. Glad you came. Good raid. See you next week.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
You rolled up. Say you rolled up an SE with MC and BWL gear and you held your weight. Like, you obviously didn't do insane numbers, but you 99 pars for your eye level, so...
Yeah, okay, you gotta stop reading that. Nobody had my eye level when I came back with that.
You did good enough to, like, actually play the game, and you didn't fuck the raid or fuck any mechanics, so... And that's what WoW should be about.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, play with like-minded people, but the issue is that like-minded player base, I feel, at least it looks like it's shrinking as the year goes on. As the years go by, I feel like less and less people play the game like that. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just what I see. But like,
you know what the biggest thing that happened between League Season 1 and now is?
What?
Social media turned everyone into egotistical narcissists. Gave everyone brain rot.
I mean, honestly. So, what's your thoughts on all this? You've been sitting there listening.
Yeah, no, I agree. Base takes. I agree fully with Eben, though, on this is just a gamer problem, I think. It hasn't really much to do with retail or classic, it's just the gamers these days. And yeah, like it's me. It's a personal, only me mindset. Other people are just an inconvenience, and they are there to help you. They're there to help you achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Actually, that's actually an interesting question. This is something I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think, because a lot of classic players are ex-retail players, right? It's the private server community is not as big as people say it was, at least back then. So a lot of the people still playing now, I would say were ex-retail players. Do you think that retail methodology is what turned classic into what it is now, or do you think it would have still been like this regardless?
Would have been like this anyway, but I will say many private servers don't have this problem to the same extent that Classic and Retail does.
Yeah, for example, TWoW, it's the Reptile server. It's
that's
allegedly I played it. Allegedly, I haven't, but allegedly when I played it, it was
for 10 minutes.
It was okay. It was allegedly for 10 minutes. It was a whole different experience because what I saw, and this is kind of an interesting thing, is the end game did not matter. You being a high-level raider did not mean shit. Nobody cared about the end game. The whole people played for the journey. And that's something that I haven't seen in a long time on classic or retail. Hardcore was the last time when they first launched Hardcore. I think that was the first time the journey had actually truly mattered.
Yeah. I love Hardcore. It's so fun. Like, it makes the journey.
Yeah, I do the same.
Like, I feel like I'm playing on an adrenaline rush the entire time because, like, anything scary you do just gets the heart pumping. You're like, I'm gonna fucking die here. All my like, your actions have consequences the entire time you're playing the game, and it's a crazy fun feeling.
Actually,
The only problem is that even on hardcore, we're seeing the problem of me. People even there as well have this whole mindset
Eventually.
of it's their journey, and other people are just there to help them on their journey.
Yeah.
Even on launch, people are trying to hard reserve things from dead mines, wailing caverns, and especially Razor and Crawl or RFK, whatever the name was, for the Horde. There's a really good item there dropping for warriors, and specifically warriors that just like, well, I need this to survive. Ah, I'm a warrior. Ah, my life is hard. Ah.
Hammer actually said something really interesting here in chat. I just think most classic / WoW players are in general older with jobs and less time, so everyone wants to maximize the time spent in game. Just because we are old and not playing for 8 hours a day anymore until you're a content creator, that's literally what it is. MMO demographic is not an 18-year-old with endless time anymore.
That could be to a degree, but that doesn't make you a selfish asshole, right? Like there's levels to it. I could understand someone wanting to have a fast, efficient group where we kill shit and try at something, but like I think there's a level to that where it's them being narcissistic. Like
Yeah,
That's fair.
because at the end of the day here, a lot of Classic WoW players are in the same boat, and like if we're 5 people doing the same dungeon, what gives one person the right to start hard reserving shit and thinking it's his journey and 4 people are helping him on his journey? And sure, you can just come with the argument of, they know the item is hard reserved, they're joining on their free will. There's still a point here to one person thinking it's okay for him and his time to be worth more than 4 other people who might be in the same place, that they're working, they have a family, they're a dad gamer now, like everyone is in the same boat essentially. And it's all about your personality and what kind of things you want from the game, I guess, because some people are here to make friends and some people just have an end goal and then they quit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's simply that social media has brain-rotted everybody to this point of selfishness that the only way away from that is to not use that as a baseline and to just play with the people you want to play with, which is seemingly getting harder and harder because you have to go out of your way to find them, whereas the other people are right there in your face. The me crowd you can see immediately whenever you log into any version of WoW. The people that are just the good people, the fun people, the kind, caring community you think WoW should be, they're there, but they're not all up in your face about it. So if you don't go looking for it, you don't find it. And all you have as a baseline reference is, yeah, I'm hard reserving 47 items from the raid. And like that's the baseline you see.
do the full streamer raid. You're here, it's my show. Everything I can use hard res to me. Have fun.
Yeah, basically.
Everyone
Also,
became
like,
streamers
yesterday-
overnight.
I'm playing Anniversary right now, right? And I'm doing a gold making challenge over here, but also a leveling challenge. And 2 days ago, I was doing Wailing Caverns, and a piece of cloth item dropped that had stamina and intellect. And to me, that would have been an okay piece, a +1 stamina increase. And I passed on it because for the healer, he had a a white item. So for him, it was a much bigger upgrade. And that same person whispered me afterwards, asking why I didn't need. He was like surprised that I didn't need on the item because it was an upgrade for me, but a very slight one. And the reason why I passed was once again that it was a bigger upgrade for somebody else in the group, a much bigger upgrade as well. And that surprised him. To me, that kind of just shows how, like, when you get surprised by winning loot in a leveling dungeon and you have to whisper people, like, why didn't you need?
Yeah, why didn't you take that? I feel like it's just, I do think Hammer's right in that nothing makes me special, but unfortunately I value my time way more than I value someone else's. Like, in a raid with like randoms, I think I'd be super selfish, but like, or in a dungeon, but with my friends, I'd be like, yo, big dog, do you really is this an upgrade for you? You need this. Okay, I'll pass. Just because I love you. But like, it's otherwise I'd just be like, yeah, I get that's an upgrade for you, but it's a 2% upgrade for me, and I need that too. I'm sorry, little one. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like, it's selfish, but I think it's a conditioning of the mindset, and I don't think that's going to change.
If it's with pugs, absolutely. Like I understand that. Like I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna try to get my loot. That makes sense. But like when I'm with a group, like ideally, see, like if it's a random pug who, with Hammer saying like he has a job, he works he only can only play for 2 hours, right? I understand why he might want to do that, but also we could come for the next 2 hours till everybody gets it, right? Like I like that community, I like that guild aspect of the game, and that's what I try to create. So like I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
I'm skewed because I'm trying so hard to create that, and I think I've done a good job, but it's just like it doesn't really translate to the overall population.
Yeah, no, you're correct. We have kind of ranted on this topic for a little bit, so we are going to move on to the last major point. The upcoming episodes will be more focused, like fine-tuned. This is just the general conversation about all of like the WoW scene right now. And that's official Classic Plus. BlizzCon next year, we're likely getting an announcement. We're likely going to get release date like a month or within that, right? My question to you guys is, what do you think Classic Plus is going to look like based on everything we've seen from like the devs, based on what's been happening, these lawsuits, based on everything else like that? What do you guys think?
Trash.
Trash? Really? Okay.
Got
Would you
it.
care to explain?
No, I don't know, man. Like they put out this survey half a year ago-ish, or like maybe it's been 3 or 4 months. I don't know the time span, but they put out a survey. The survey asks for transmog, pet battles, and a WoW token. Those 3 things alone, it's just like it shows me they're so far away from the questions they should be asking. Why wasn't botting mentioned? Gold buying, gold selling. What about the class changes and talking about specific class changes as well? Like, what content do you want to see? Do you want to have more focus on the end game? Do you want to have more focus on leveling? Should there be more dungeons? How many zones should there be? Instead of asking important questions that could help them develop, it's all about how can we monetize and how can we throw stupid shit like pet battles into Classic Plus.
Why do you hate pet battles?
They suck ass.
But like people, if people play the game cosmetically, play to have cute pets, very casual experience. Like some
Yeah,
people
but
literally play the game for just pet battles. Why do you? Why do
the development
you?
time that takes away is not worth the time. Like it's not
But
worth the
like, is
potential
it?
0.1% profit.
Does it take the time to just put a system that already exists? Like they essentially would just copy paste it from MOP when it's in, right? Like it shouldn't be that hard to create something in that
Speaking
version of the game.
Having talked to a bunch of coders, it's way more difficult than copy and pasting based on the versions of WoW that it is. You would have to throw something from Mists of Pandaria in this case into a vanilla WoW element and vanilla WoW place. You would have to fine tune the pets. You would have to like make sure that they are actually pets that are in vanilla WoW, not added in, for example, Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria, or even Wrath and TBC, right? It's way more than copy and paste. And I can tell you, putting pet battles in Classic Plus is probably about a 100-hour plus project in itself. If
Fair
you're
enough.
several people working on it. So like it's definitely some development time there.
I
And should they
was
really focus on that instead of adding, for example, 2 new dungeons in that same time span?
Yeah, no, obviously, if you have to choose, like I'm saying, to me, it was if it's minimal effort, cosmetic gameplay that they go in and
Yeah.
do that. Because I think we're on, so ever since Kata, and it's why Kata and MOP are on a separate client, and SOD and all of those are on a different one. I'm pretty sure that Kata and MOP share the retail client. So, like, if this Classic Plus is built on that one, then they could actually copy and paste it over, which is
Yeah, true.
something that's where that comes from, just how the
Yeah.
server tech runs. But yeah, like I don't know, all those cosmetic features you mentioned, I don't see a problem with that. If people want to collect for cosmetics and it doesn't affect gameplay, I see no issue with putting that in because it gives people a reason to play and it gives people a reason to go out there and do something when they don't have to. I would even love to see housing in our collection log be in Classic Plus and tied to your retail one so people can come play Classic Plus from retail, earn cool, pretty things for their house to show off or whatever. And it just blends the versions of games together so people are more likely to not just be like, oh, I'm Classic only, I'm retail only, I go over here and I go and play these games.
One of the problems with the transmog is the amount of controversy it actually brings up in Classic, where some people love it and some people hate it. And I'm on your side where I'm like, I don't really care about them. But if you have to look at it objectively, transmogging, you can make your character look different than he is currently, based on the gear you have. And to a lot of people, one of the bigger charms in Classic is that you see a person and you know what type of gear he has. And this is like in PvE, this is whatever, but it could be a bad thing that everybody looks the same. But in PvP, you can't inspect people. So whenever you are doing world PvP and you look at someone, that is the only indicator you will have of what type of gear they have. If you take that away, you no longer know what type of gear people have. They can go up to you kind of naked due to transmog, and you think they're naked, but they're not.
What if there was a toggle? What if, like, in your game client, you had like a see transmog, don't see transmog. So if you had see transmog enabled, you see everybody with their transmog on, and you see your own transmog. If the person across you has no transmog disabled, you look like a clown to him, and he sees your gear for the gear it is.
Yeah.
Would that be okay then? Would you be okay with transmog then?
You're epoching now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a personal decision.
Oh, that's from Epoch?
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
And that's pretty, it's a good way to do it, like if they can do that. The only question then is like, how much time does it take to put all of this in, and what does it take away? Because I have to think about Classic WoW team as a limited resource, and I have to think about what they are putting in, how much time they're willing to put into the game. They're obviously working on a budget. If they were a multi-billion-dollar company, putting $1 billion into this and hiring like 100 people, it's a whole different discussion. But in this case, they're a team potentially adding 2 people to the current team, potentially. That's not even confirmed. It's a discussion people are having. But they might be adding 2 people. So it's a limited resource, limited people.
The team's already grown from like 10 to like almost 45, 50 as it is right now. So an extra 2 people, sure. I'm sure they had an initial budget to like grow the team drastically. And now that they've gotten that initial boost of the studio, it's got to go to the corporate structure of, headcount, HR, resourcing. Because, upsizing a studio is a different process than hiring one new employee. But it's no longer a small 10-person studio. It's like a 45, 50-person studio. It might even be 60 now. I'm not sure on the exact numbers, but
at the end of SOD, in Agron's letter and Hammer's video, actually, he said they hired a bunch of people to make the real content, and then they ended SOD. So obviously, that's for something new, I guess.
Yeah, obviously it has to be for something new because they haven't done shit in Mr. Pandaria.
They haven't done shit an anniversary. We don't even know when next is coming.
What if TBC's taking so long? They're just gonna hit us with new raids and TBC, like surprise. That would be...
I hope not.
TBC plus. Oh man, no, I'd tweak. I do think TBC is gonna have a bunch of changes. I do think they're gonna do a bunch of shifts and changes to TBC anniversary. Not anything major, but they had a dual spec. I assume they're going to tweak a couple of items or a couple of systems. Like for PvP, they might like make the slight balance changes here or there. Nothing that will break the game overall, but might make the game smoother for a couple of classes or a couple of systems. If that makes sense. I expect that to happen. I 100% expect them to do some changes because we saw how much they changed in MOP. I'm kind of curious, will they do the same? Are we going to launch in the TBC anniversary as TBC OG? And then you progress with the patches as they come out. Instead of endgame TBC, you launch with launch TBC.
They just need to make Lust raid wide and it solves so much headache.
Or for things like that, for example.
That's literally the only thing I change.
Yeah, same.
And maybe some of the buffs, just do raid-wide buffs instead of group-wide stuff. That's literally the only thing I'd change.
Maybe do something about the attunements on alts early. Like they fix that later, but make it early as well, possibly. I don't know what phase that comes in.
What do you guys think about leveling speed, TBC? Do you want them to improve that?
Keep it.
Like, keep it.
Okay.
Anybody bitching on that, you're a bitch.
That's fair.
Play the game.
Okay. So you guys just want
all right, that isn't an attack on
No, I know, it's a joke. Game, right? It's a joke. Calm down. Everything's an attack on me lately.
You're just taking it like it's an attack, all right?
No, so effectively, with how much the team has grown though, we've seen nothing for their work so far. And we know the team is massive now. Well, compared to what it was. It's not like retail, which is 300 developers per team? I think retail has 600 total devs, or was it 250 per team? Some shit like that, right? And there's two retail dev teams. Team 1 and Team 2, or Team A and Team B. because they work on expansions on lockstep. So when the War Within was being like developed as is, the next team was working on the Midnight. So as the War Within finishes, the team that's making the War Within is going to be working on the Last Titan. So that's how retail WoW does it. It's how the expansions come out as is. But so with Classic, we have nothing to see for. We know the team's increased a lot. When do you think we'll first hear anything? Do you legit think we're not getting anything until BlizzCon next year? Do you think we're getting a Warcraft Direct this year? Like, do you think that the dev team is going to share anything with us in the meanwhile?
Nope.
With the lawsuits and them taking it down, I think it'd be a great way to make everyone be like, oh, so that's why. Just like, don't even show us anything. Don't even say anything about it. Just say we have a plus size announcement coming at BlizzCon. Like, just hint at it in any way, shape, or form, and everyone will lose their freaking mind.
Do you think we're getting like a roadmap for Classic at some point to show when, you know, the TBC phases, to show MOPS phases, to show anything?
Warcraft Direct.
There's no Warcraft Direct yet. They didn't confirm it. We got announced at Gamescom last year.
That doesn't mean that there isn't one.
But wouldn't they have mentioned it? At least one saying, like they mentioned it last year. They're like, yeah, we're also gonna have more information to share later this year. A Warcraft Direct. We'll talk more about that later on. They gave us like it was 10 seconds on 5 seconds. That's what they told us last year. And then
they fired most of the communications team, right?
They did. They did fire most of them.
So maybe that's why we haven't got any communications. It is really weird for Classic though. Like straight up, like everything is dead quiet. Like the devs aren't even tweeting on social media that much.
I don't blame them. Oh, I don't blame them at all.
You know, I know
death threats?
They get a lot. They get a lot. Absolutely. I'm just saying they're usually talking, like someone is usually talking about the state of Classic somewhere, right? But they have been radio silent essentially since the lawsuit dropped, and it could be for legal reasons.
I think,
but like everything like they are just insanely quiet on all regards of Classic, and it's either hopefully something massive's coming, or this is just the new norm of dead silence and wonder, which I personally hate.
Same.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we need some. I'm at this point. I don't even care about TBC's announcement because I know they're gonna drop. I mean, Classic Plus announcement. I know they're gonna drop Classic Plus at BlizzCon next year. We don't have a roadmap for TBC's release date. Nax coming, Opt's next phase tier. Like we know we have rough timelines. Right? We have this like rough timeline of what's coming.
Yeah.
But I feel like we should know, but like when TBC's release date is at this point. Like why don't we have that?
Yeah, that was almost a year ago. Like it was Gamescom in November, so like we're 3 months from that, or 2 months away. Sorry, and that chart's just wrong, right? Like
it was so wrong.
Like it's just off. It said the Nax already. They said they were doing a 1 year classic. So like if we don't have TBC by November, which unless they announce Nax tomorrow and they're dropping it 2 weeks from now, I don't think we have that TBC by November. So
I think they're doing that, by the way. They're announcing Nax tomorrow, and we get it in 2 weeks.
I do think that's the case.
Tomorrow when I'm right.
But I don't think it's 2 weeks. I think this is 8 weeks. I think Nax drops next week. I think they announce and they drop Nax next week. I think if they're going to keep to that 1 year timeline, Nax drops next week. Again, that's assuming they keep to the 1 year timeline. Yeah. I don't know if they will.
Or they hit us with the TBC Plus.
They're not going to do TBC Plus. Yeah. They're not gonna do TBC Plus, cat. Come on.
That'd be hilarious.
We don't even have an announcement on anything Classic.
I really do want TBC to be the base. I think it gets rid of so many annoyances from Classic, like all the group stuff. But anyway.
I also think they should keep TBC as a base and let us fly in every single zone.
Hell no. Okay, now you're trolling. Now you're trolling. That wasn't even good rage bait. That was like so obvious rage bait. Because like good
flying out at TBC.
Good rage. Okay, that's a rage bait take right there, Kaga. Taking flying out of TBC would be what? Holy shit! TBC, by the way, I don't know if people know this. TBC, like landmass wise, is almost as big as Kalimdor or the Eastern Kingdoms. It's fucking ginormous. Yeah, imagine no flying in TBC the whole time.
That'd be fucking awesome. Just add teleporter NPCs to all the places that you need flying to get to, and GG, well played.
There we go. That's what's happening in TBC, man. Let's go.
Okay. It would bring the PvP back. That'd be interesting. But
Yeah.
But that is effectively the whole topic. Do any of you have anything you want to bring up or discuss?
Level boosts in Classic Plus.
Okay.
No.
Actually, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, actually, literally bring it up.
This might be controversial, but unless they make the journey fucking matter, I don't give a shit at all. If the journey doesn't matter,
exactly.
Everyone's gonna just boost and skip. Like if they do no safeguards, like they don't disable mage boosting and all that stuff, they just make shit like as is. People get summoned to a location, instantly get in, sit at the entrance of SFK for 10 levels, then go sit at the entrance of SM for 10 levels, and like if that's gonna be Classic Plus, add the level boost. I don't give a shit. If they're gonna actually fix the game, address the boosting, make leveling smoother, add new zones, fix up some of those, like give them that level 30 to like 34 bracket, but like the level 30, actually all of like level 30 to 50, honestly, is dog shit. If they don't smooth out the leveling with new quests, new zones, like because like one thing that TWoW, the Reptile server, is they added zones that only matter for leveling. They added dungeons that only matter for leveling, not endgame stuff. They didn't improve the endgame at all. If they do stuff like that, absolutely, 100%, they should be adding. They should not have a level boost. But if they're not doing any of that shit, and it's just, hey, get to level 60, let's go do Molten Core again. Add the level boost. I don't give a shit. If that's what it is, like.
I'm bringing this up, number one, for rage bait and comments, but I'm also bringing it up because it's a prediction of mine. We're getting Classic Plus without any level boosts, and after exactly 1.5 years, they will introduce level boosts. And the problem here is that people will thank them for it. They will they will be milked like actual cash cows and be happy about it. Because they'll be like, we have spent 1.5 years leveling now, I'm so over this. I have jobs, I have wives, I have families, multiple of them. I can't play the game anymore, I can
Different
just raid.
states.
Yeah.
I do think you're right.
They're going to be happy about the leveling boost, yeah.
I do think you're right. I do think they're going to be happy with leveling boosts. Kag, I'm not sure if you're muted or not.
No, I'm not. They just absolutely should not put a freaking leveling boost in Classic in any shape or form.
I feel the same way. I'm just
agree.
It destroys the game, and people like it destroys the economy. Like that's just two max professions, and that's super impactful in Classic and TBC at the very least. Bots
and
would
it destroys the world as well.
Bots would absolutely obliterate that. Even with boosting and all the things you said, which I hope they put some safeguards in, but even with those in the game, you still have to take the time. You still have to dedicate to it. Like that's still like 5 to 10 days logged into the game getting boosted to get max level. So I just can't have a level boost in Classic.
No, I was just saying, I'm not saying that boosting is actually good for the game or that they should add. I'm just saying, like, if they're gonna milk us, like, it's obvious. If you don't give a shit, like, okay, just go ahead and do what you're gonna do. Like, at that point, it's it is what it is. That was my whole point. Like, if they're not gonna monetize that, they're gonna add a WoW token or whatever. If they don't address the core fundamental issues of how Classic players play Classic, fuck it, I guess make your money from the retail player base. I guess it's a solid saying, but I mean, they need to address the core issues of what makes Classic fun and force people to play like that. Like the one thing the OG devs did that, they're starting to do in retail again is make people play the game because it's fun, but you got to force them to play in a way that's fun. Because people will take what was the saying? People will
optimize the fun out of gaming.
They will optimize the fun out of gaming. And that's what's happened with Classic for a lot of communities, a lot of players. So if they're going to make the journey and the world and the characters and the leveling and everything matter, they have to force you to play in a way that's actually, A, both fun, but B, matters. And right now, there isn't. There just isn't a reason. When I say it's fun, I mean, like, I'm not saying you have to force them to have fun. I'm saying you have to force them. That's the only way to play is the fun way. You can't let them optimize the fun out of the gameplay. Because people will do that.
You're having fun now.
Because the problem is, if you're having fun, But you have an option that will save you 75% of your time and get you ahead of people, ahead of the curve, faster, more efficient, better gear. 9 out of 10 people are going to hit the fuck the fun. Let me be geared or better off than other people. You have to remove that option, that button from people to be able to press that. And like, that's a controversial take, but you have to. The WoW token's not popular because, oh my god, I just hit a button and I got gold. The WoW token's popular because grinding for gold isn't fun, but you need gold for resources, this and that. And people are busy with lives and stuff. A lot of people used to love farming gold because it felt rewarding. You farmed the gold, you did this, and you earned this, and you earned that. The more and more popular, the more and more effective, the more and more efficient bots got, the less and less fun grinding gold got. Which then becomes a vicious cycle of, I have to now grind 4 hours to afford a Black Lotus. Or I work on my job for an hour and I buy 8 Black Lotus. So like you see the issue I'm coming with.
Yep. Especially, I think Salam can relate with that too. With the gold making guides that we do, like anytime, it it hits a certain point where people are like, yeah, or I could just work a job for an hour to make that, and then you're like, well, I don't have a rebuttal to that because you're right.
That comment happens on every single gold farming video that I do, by the way. And it's always like 1 or 10 comments being like, just buy gold, bro.
Yeah, once a server's reached like 6 months in and it's just not worth, they're just like, yeah, I'll just go swipe instead. But good video.
Like Mincy, one of my friends, he actually, he legitimately spends hours, and I mean this, hours every single week, grinding like a real motherfucker to get his Black Lotus and his consumes and his gold. Like genuinely, he'll be like, I can't play I can't do like Mythic Plus, or I can't do this, or I can't like anything. I have to grind 8 hours to make sure I have Black Lotus for raid. Because he won't ever swipe. But the gold farms aren't efficient and shit's expensive.
Yep.
So it's like the issue is like, very few people are Mincy. Very few people are playing in that methodology. Almost everybody is like I said, when the consequence is a 2-week ban of, oh no, I don't got to rate AQ for 2 weeks, what's gonna happen? Woe be upon me, I'm so sad. It's like, alright, cool, I'll take a 2-week break, I'll play other games. Like, it comes back to what happened earlier, is that gold has no value. So it removes that system from the game.
Yep.
If you guys remember phase like 1 to 3 of Classic 2019, I legitimately farmed my own Black Lotus.
Same.
It would take me about an hour to farm 1 Black Lotus. Sometimes I'd get lucky and I'd get 2 Black Lotus in an hour. The bots weren't there. People weren't grinding. People weren't super efficient. There wasn't super many layers that late into the game, but it was like, it wasn't until Nax or the second, like third, fourth, fifth time when it became a thing of, the bots are so fucking bad, there is no economy.
Yeah, I quit briefly in Nax because I couldn't afford consumes. Like I didn't want to go out there and farm the gold, and it was just inefficient, not really fun, and I was going through some burnout there.
But no, like at the end of the day, when it comes back to class puzzle, we're talking about the level boost. If they're not going to address the core fundamental issues of what Classic is lacking with the community and how it's like being impacted right now, add your WoW token, add your level boost, add all that stuff. If it's just about money, fuck it, just be upfront about it.
Yeah, add all of those things and then I can go and play something else.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly.
And the right MMO will be here in time.
That's exactly my thought process. Like, if you're gonna add all that shit because you don't want to address any of the core issues, just be upfront about it. Yeah, I'm so hyped instead of a Classic Plus because I truly believe they're gonna fix all these issues.
You truly believe?
I hope. I truly believe that they're gonna fix everything. But if
you gotta send me some of that hopium, dude. Holy.
He has bottles of it.
I have faith.
Yeah, that is insane.
I have faith that they're gonna. I believe Agron's gonna cook. I believe Tim Jones, like all those people, are gonna fucking nail it. I truly believe. But like again, if they're not going to, at least be upfront and immediate about it. Like, let the game come out and let me see from the get-go.
Yeah, like I'm hitting you up after stream, by the way, and getting your supplier of opium. That is insane.
I'm the supplier. I make it right here in my heart. Damn. My camera's reversed, so this is actually my heart. Before people start like, yeah, you're eating the wrong fucking chest. It's reversed. It's reversed.
Do you has Solheim seen that picture of Hopium that you have?
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
You
I'll
should
send it
share
to you
that
after
with
stream.
him. It's so good.
The
Someone
best thing
made a
is the Agron
video of
milk.
Agron giving me milk from a fucking bottle. It's
Yeah,
like
the milk, yeah.
yeah, the milk, yeah.
I know.
But again, that's just my opinion and thought on like Classic Pluses. Like, if it's gonna be amazing, they don't need any of that. Those are crutches for not fixing the core issues of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
ahead.
my faith in the devs as well. They did great with SOD for it being a beta test. Obviously not the most popular take, but I enjoyed SOD a lot.
I did. I had
Yeah,
a blast.
Other than phase 3, obviously. Like, hey, you got to make the mistakes so they can learn from it. Like, that was hopefully a very good learning experience, and we never
I really
see
hope so.
anything. We never see anything like it again in a Classic Plus world. Or whatever they're cooking next. I see that as like, it has to be Classic Plus, otherwise Blizzard's crazy in my opinion. But
Dude, can you imagine we get to BlizzCon next year and it's Season of Discovery 2?
They wouldn't call it that. Season of Adventure.
Yeah, they call like Season of Magic, Season of Dragons, Season of Midnight,
Season of Turtles.
Yeah, oh my god.
Got him.
Another turtle has made it to the water.
Yeah.
But no,
Epoch
it's
Turtles.
yeah, like I do think that it has to be Classic Plus because shit, I'll still play the shit out of a new season, but I'll go into it knowing it's going to end. And my thought process, if they do another season next year, that kills some of my hype and like faith in the game. Not because another season would be bad. I assume it'd be fun and entertaining, but that just means there's no official Classic Plus ever. If it's another season, if that's what they're working on for this long, it means Classic Plus as a dream is dead. It means it's going to keep doing new servers every 2 or 3 years. And at that point for me, I would probably check out a Classic as a whole and probably start looking forward to the next MMO or just go to retail or whatever. If it's another season, all that tells me is the Classic Plus dream is fucking dead.
Yeah.
If it's going to be another season, they have to literally announce it this month, and it comes out next month. And they say this is a season for you guys to play while we work on Classic Plus. That way we go into it knowing it's a time to fill like time, do content, and just play and have fun.
Absolutely.
But after like 14 months, it's ending, and we go to Classic Plus.
I'd be down for that. I would be fully on board if they literally said, like, say they announce Warcraft Direct next month, and then Warcraft Direct in November happens, and Addons comes on stage and he goes, "You've all been waiting for the plus, that big plus. You've seen everywhere the plus is coming. I'm not announcing that because that's something happening at BlizzCon next year. But today, I can't wait to show to you all the season of adventure, dive right in, have all this fun, yada yada yada, and all this shit."
Exactly. That's exactly what you should say. Those words.
And then, like, we'll see you guys. And then, like, and they show us the new system. New season of adventure is more about the leveling journey. There's going to be way more raids. It's going to be like a new raid every, 8 weeks. The gear progression is not as aggressive with each raid tier. And, like, there's a lot of, like, extra little content. Like, it's just have fun, enjoy this stuff. And we'll see you guys next year. I'd be hyped as shit. I'd be having a blast. I'd be playing every day, hours upon hours, grinding content, enjoying myself. But if it's literally, we get to next year, nothing happens. TBC all the way into, say, BlizzCon, and it's like, yo, just so you guys know, welcome to Season of Adventure. I'd be at BlizzCon. I'd be at BlizzCon. I'd be like, time for me to go home.
I love that you're going with Season of Adventure. It would suck if it's called that, because then that would be SOA, and that doesn't sound as good as SOD or Psalm. We need to get an acronym to say.
If we go a year and they announce another season, I am probably going to go full-time Ashes of Creation, man. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know if I do Ashes, but I'd probably go full Riot, because I'm really excited. For people, I've said this a lot of times, and people don't believe me. I know Riot's lore in and out. I'm not Necrit, or the Necrit to the Nobel of League of Legends. I'm not that into the lore, but I love the story, the characters, the universe, the zones, all the lore of all the champions. I know so much about League that I'm actually truly excited about the Riot MMO. But if then in the next year they give us another season, I'll probably still play, but I don't know if I'd make content on it. I think I'd probably go straight from whatever I was covering to Riot MMO or full retail or whatever. But it's like, if it's another season, I would mentally check out.
I have
Classic
two
plus or
important
die,
questions, though.
baby.
I have two important questions for you. Because you said you know the League lore, right?
Mhm.
Have you played League
I got masters.
for more than 10 minutes?
Got him.
You got him.
No, I'm a super wash player. I'm like my actual real skills like Emerald
Oh,
1
okay, damn it.
D4. I did hit that, but like I'm not maintaining that at all. Like I haven't. That was
I-
season 11, 12, like the first
Yeah.
part of it. So I'm not that good. And then when I play
I've
now, I'm
never
stuck
played
around Emerald 1, and that's like it's okay. Like Emerald 1 D4 is where I'm at right now. I think I forget what I was because I play like 4 games a month maybe. So I'm really washed at the game.
Yeah, no, it's just meme. But
Yeah, no.
I've never played League.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Don't. It's the most toxic game in the world.
I could not in
Like,
good conscience as your friend recommend League of Legends.
Yeah, do
Oh,
not.
okay.
Do not. You're not missing much. It's a great
Okay.
PvP game, but at this point, everyone is just incredibly skilled and toxic. So it's
Yeah.
It's like imagine
not a good new player.
Imagine starting WoW and going into WoW PvP, and the baseline rating of the average player is 2300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's
yeah.
happened to League of Legends. So the baseline gold player is now like a 2300, 2200 rated player. Now being like 2800 is like the new masters and whatnot. And then going to 3K is still challenger and all that. But like it's the baseline has increased so much, it's not even fun.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Y'all have any? Oh, let's go ahead.
I'll say I got a question.
Shoot.
What MMO that's in production or other game are you looking forward to that's not World of Warcraft?
You want to go first or should I go first? I'll go first.
You go first.
So not counting Riot MMO because I know it's in production, but they might reset it again because Riot's got this weird mentality of we need to kill and dominate the genre we go into. We don't like sharing. So if they don't think the Riot MMO is gonna like fully take over, they'll restart that shit again. So like that one that could take 10 more years. In terms of that is coming, that they've started actually grinding like a lot. Guild Wars 3. So Guild Wars 3,
Ooh.
I'm actually got a video coming out on this as my main channel, and it's about how the fact that since 2021, they've been building out a ginormous team. And it's not for Guild Wars 2. So Guild Wars 3 is probably about 3 years, 2 to 3 years in development now. And MMOs take, and the thing is they also had a full team that was already working on Guild Wars 2 the whole time, like 60 employees. So they went from 60 to like 110, 120 employees over 3 years. So I'm not sure how far along into development Guild Wars 3 is. They could have restarted it. They could have, just rebooted it. They could have been in development. Could be getting announced and releasing next year. Because again, it takes about 5 to 7 years for an MMO to come out. So if Guild Wars 3 is 5 years in actual proper development, that could be huge. But it could also just be 2 years because they rebooted it recently, right? So I don't know the exact time, but Guild Wars 3 is probably right there at the top. So it'd be Riot MMO, Guild Wars 3, Ashes of Creation if it's actually going to ever come out and actually be fixed. I'm going to buy Alpha 2. Somebody donated $100 for me just to straight up buy Ashes of Creation, a beta key. So I'm going to buy that at some point and play and make videos and discuss that as well. Not anytime super soon, but that's there. Then the Lord of the Rings
You can probably
MMO.
get it for free, by the way.
What'd you say?
You can probably get it for free, by the way.
Can I?
Yeah, I'll hit you up.
Okay, thank you.
Whoa, hit me up too.
and then it would be Lord of the Rings MMO. And the Lord of the Rings MMO is debatable, and I'm going to explain why. It's the guys that made New World, and the team shit the bed so much, but they've actually got their shit together now. But the issue is, will the Lord of the Rings MMO actually be shit together, or will it go through the whole New World cycle where it's so good that it kills every other MMO for about 3 months, and then everybody realizes, oh shit, they could not live up to the ideals and the standards they set. So we're just going to all go back to our own MMOs. Because New World actually impacted WoW, Final Fantasy XIV. Every MMO in the market got impacted by New World. Because remember, New World was peaking at 1 million active players. Keep in mind,
Yeah, New World was insane.
Fortnite has about 1.5 million active players. And Fortnite has 300 million unique monthly players, give or take. Roblox only has 4 million something unique daily players, like peak daily players. So an MMO hit 1 million peak fucking players in 2020. That's hard to really match. So if the Lord of the Rings MMO is actually New World level, it could be amazing. So like I don't want to really say like that's why Lord of the Rings MMO is at the bottom, because I don't fucking trust Amazon. I should clarify, like WoW 2 and Classic Plus are up here, but WoW 2 is never going to happen. And Classic Plus could either be top fucking tier or dog shit, and I don't know. I believe it's going to be amazing. I believe Classic Plus is going to be amazing. So not counting the Classic Plus and WoW 2, it would be Riot MMO. If we are counting that, if we're not counting that, Guild Wars 3, then it would be Ashes, and then it would be Lord of the Rings MMO.
Yeah.
What about you, Solheim?
For me, it's going to be, once again, assuming it's not a WoW title, so no Classic Plus or no WoW 2 thing. It's going to be Ashes of Creation, #1, and Arcade Chronicles, or priorly known as Arcade 2, a game coming out possibly 2026. And Ashes as well is like if it comes out. I've played since Alpha 1 or pre-Alpha as well, so I've been there for a long time. And I haven't played Alpha 2 yet, even though it's right now like in Alpha 2 as well, in Open Alpha 2 kind of, where we are playing for a long time, and they're not doing any wipes. So I kind of want to go back and try out Alpha 2. But the thing for me is that I played Arcade, the original Arcade, a lot. It's the one game that I played and basically quit my job over, and didn't even make content on. I just played the game because it was really fun, and I played the game way more than what's healthy, by the way. And back then, I was in the same guild as someone called Steven Sharif, who is now the guy who's making Ashes. Or like, yeah, he's the main guy, but there's multiple people, right? So I was playing with him back in Arcade in the first time, and the first Fresh Start, before the pay to win came out. And then he quit due to pay to win, and he started working on his own thing due to simply being burnt out from pay to win all over the place. So for me, Ashes has a special place in my heart due to they're pulling many elements from Arcade, and I also want to play Arcade 2 or Arcade Chronicles simply due to loving Arcade 1 so much. I just don't know if Arcade 2 is going to be the same thing as Arcade 1. It looks a little bit different. But both of those two games I'm incredibly hyped for, and I will play.
Awesome.
Apart from that, I don't really know if there's any bigger games that I'm planning on playing that much.
Are you excited for Guild Wars 3? Like, or did you not like Guild Wars 2 or 1?
The thing is, I have never even played Guild Wars at all, so I don't really know how excited I can be.
Fair
but
enough.
I really do want to play, and I've gotten like many recommendations to try out Guild Wars 2, so maybe at some point, if there's like a big downtime in WoW, I might try that out.
I'm actually planning on doing a Guild Wars 2 run, because I haven't played Guild Wars 2 was the first major MMO, because I quit the original WoW back during Wrath of the Lich King.
Okay.
Because like I was a young kid and my guild imploded. I still don't know why I imploded. Like these guys carried me through a Black Temple and shit like that, right? This is back in 2008. And, like I was a kid in a guild, and they just liked me. I was a mascot. I had fucking TeamSpeak, and they thought it was the funniest shit. Like I cried when Illidan died the first time. I was like, oh,
W.
And
W.
kid crying, WL kid.
Oh yeah, you were happy you killed him. What do you mean?
No, I was crying from like sadness.
Oh.
Because Illidan's my favorite character.
Oh, I thought you were hyped because you beat him.
No, like I saw Illidan die, and I was like, "Is he gonna get back up? The fuck, Illidan?
It took a decade, but he didn't actually die.
True, he did come back. But no, anyway, so
yeah.
But then when going to Wrath of the Lich King, I begged my dad to buy me Wrath of the Lich King, and he goes and buys it for me. So we get it set up, right? And then I log in. I couldn't play for the first 2 months. I don't remember exactly why. I think I went to Turkey. Because my dad would send me throughout like my life. I would go to Turkey for a month or two to go visit family and stuff, and I would come back. And I came back, and my guild was gone, like disbanded. And like one guy told me that some drama happened between the raid leader and the GM and a bunch of stuff. And it's like he didn't explain because he knew I was a kid. He's like, "Oh shit, welcome back. I thought you quit the game." And I was like, "What happened? Where's the guild? Where's all my friends? I love these people." They're like, "It's gone." And I was sad. And there's a second part to the story, but that's not really shareable online. I'll tell you guys later. But it's actually no, fuck, I'll share it. I was sad, and it was a. I don't remember the exact server name, but like again, I was a young kid, and I befriended some people. Long story short, yada yada. These new people didn't know my age, right? Because they told me don't share your age with people online. It's weird. Don't do that shit, right? You're lucky that it was a group of good people that found you first time around. Because like it's bad to be a kid online. Like don't say you're a kid. Don't tell people that. I was like, yeah, I got you. And this new group of people I met. Long story short, it was a roleplay guild. And some female Tauren pulled her foot or cock out, and I logged out of the game, and I didn't log back on until late Cataclysm. So that was when because she starts emoting at me in the DMs, and I was like, I read the message. I was like, what was I, 10, 11? And I looked at the message. I was like, yeah, and then I clicked escape.
Sounds like you're on Moonglaze.
Yeah, I clicked escape, and I logged out, and I closed the game. And my dad was like, why you not play that game I buy you? I spent $60 for that game. And then I was like, don't worry about it, Dad. It's all good. I'm gonna go play Warcraft 3 again. He's like, okay, very
you
nice.
didn't tell him?
And then no. It's just, I was like, I don't know how the fuck am I explaining that to my Middle Eastern dad. So I was just like, yeah, no, I'm out. Anyways, and so that was, and then I didn't play it, like I said, the late Cataclysm, and then I skipped all of MOP, and then Warlords was when I became a proper WoW player. Worst time to be a proper WoW player. But that's when I came back. I saw the WoD hype. I saw the trailer. I was like, holy shit, Warlords of Draenor is amazing. I was so excited. So that's when I came back.
Yep.
And then I was sad. And then, Legion was amazing. And then, I played a shit ton of BFA. And then the moment Classic WoW came out, I never touched retail again until very early Shadowlands. And then I immediately quit. Played TBC. Then IRL happened. I didn't play much for the second half of TBC or Wrath. I didn't touch Dragonflight at all, aside from one free weekend where I got to like level, what was it, 74 or 64, whatever the fuck it was. I did the first 2 zones and I stopped playing. Or the first zone, and then that was that, and that was the rest is history. What was the initial question?
I asked you guys what your favorite MMOs were.
Sorry, yeah. After I quit Wrath of the Lich King, I played the shit out of Guild Wars 2 and Star Wars: Old Republic.
Yeah,
I bought them both on launch because that was around when I quit. It was like I quit Wrath like 2011 or 2000 and when was Wrath? 2000 came out 2008 or 2010? No, it came out 2010. Wrath was
08.
Wrath was 8.
Oh,
I quit around 09 or whatever the fuck it was, and then I didn't stop playing MMOs again until Cataclysm, and I stopped playing Cataclysm so I could play Guild Wars 2 and Star Wars Republic because they came out in 2012. That's what it was. And so I was, long story short, I'd recommend Guild Wars 2 because it's been an amazing game from the beginning, and Guild Wars 2 has the most perfect timeline of gearing. I have legendary and perfect gear from back in 2013, and that gear is still relevant today. When I log into Guild Wars 2, I'm already bissed out. There are slightly
it's horizontal.
It's incredibly horizontal. There's no vertical. And it was really cool, but even now when I log on, there's still better gear. But it's not super better. It's very marginally better. It's so little as an upgrade. It's like 3% upgrade at most with the new best top of the line gear. They don't really do upgrades like that. You don't really get drastically better gear. So if you crafted for this context, a Thunder Fury back then, it's still a Thunder Fury now. It's still the same strength, same power. It still works perfectly. So that's why Guild Wars 2 is a game I always return to. So when I return to an expansion, every like 5, 3, 4, 5, whatever years I come back, I log in and I level a new character from 1 to 80 because it only takes about 25, 30 hours to really hit max level. And then once I figure out how to play the game again, I remember, I go back to my main and do the new expansion.
I've pretty much just played WoW and the League the entire time.
Terrible choices. Terrible choices.
I gave New World. I gave New World a shot, and I loved New World. I also did Lost Ark. I did a fuck ton of Lost Ark for like a month. Like I did that shit like 12 hours a day. Like I went crazy with the Lost Ark when they brought it over here, and then I just one day was like, I'm done. Never playing it again. Haven't logged in since. Like I never played a game so much and then just quit.
That was me with Lost Ark as well. I don't know why.
I would love to do Guild Wars at some point, and maybe Guild Wars 3. That'd be fun. But I'm most looking forward to the Riot MMO.
Absolutely.
WoW, obviously. That world is just great. They have so much potential with all these zones and the characters and just the interactions.
I think Guild Wars 3 could do really well right now. I think as far as games, I think Guild Wars has enough brand, like image and name, that it could actually launch and actually steal market share. The issue with a lot of games that aren't like the Riot, like League of Legends or World of Warcraft, when you launch a new game, you're competing with no brand value or attachment. So Guild Wars 3 could do actual damage and be assuming it's a good game. Assuming that's a big assumption there. It could actually be the next big thing. Riot's guaranteed, whether it's good or not. It's gonna have like fucking 100 million fucking signups. Whether it's good or not is irrelevant. Whether it keeps them depending on if the game is good or not. But like Arcade 2, I know a lot of people. I'm gonna play Arcade 2. Arcade 1 fucked my PC up.
I have no idea.
I was playing on like 8 FPS or 9 FPS. I was still playing the game, but like, so like a lot of people put brand value on there. So that kind of sucks though. That if you think about it, you know, I said this in one of my videos, but the best MMO in 20 years was World of Warcraft. The second best MMO was World of Warcraft re-releasing.
It's true. I would love, my list would be Riot, then Ashes. Ashes like has a lot of promising, and I was super stoked for it back in like 2022 or whenever they announced it, but like it's just like taken forever, and it's got a little negative feedback on it, and it's just like I just don't know anymore. Riot, we at least know nothing about, so we can like. It's so cool to live in a world where we see two different MMOs. Like one's showing you every aspect of the development, the other one says, "Yeah, we're making it, but we haven't done shit with it," or like we're not telling you anything, so you just get to wonder. It's pretty cool to see that both of them be built in real time, and you're like, true, yeah. The comms seems gone, so who knows? But yeah, those two I'm excited for. I just really hope that we do not get both of them or all three of them at the same time. Like, please give me a year to enjoy it and play them, like launch them separately.
Most people are definitely launching away from Riot MMO, but I guarantee you if they announce the game, the Guild Wars 3 announces the release date or Classic Plus or WoW 2.0, Riot MMO will launch around the same time because they know they can actually steal market share. They have the brand for that. But Guild Wars 3, if Riot's got a release date and WoW 2's point has got a release date, or like, you know, the expansion after the Last Titan and the Classic Plus is a release date, Guild Wars 3 will probably wait 6 months. There's zero chance they're going to launch Guild Wars 3 alongside other behemoths. They're going to be like, we'll wait.
I feel like Riot or
Blizzard will launch their game on the same weekend or the same week as another game. They've done that for a decade.
I don't know why they would do that to each other for an MMO. Like,
well, World of Warcraft has done this for every major expansion, every major patch, every major thing has launched alongside another MMO's new patch, new phase, or launch. They launched at the same time as WildStar, Rift, Guild Wars 2. They did it for Star Wars Republic. They've done it for every single MMO.
I know why WoW does it, because they're the king, right? But all the others I think would be crazy to launch at when WoW launches theirs, right? Like you should let people
Riot will.
WoW and WoW.
Riot will.
Yeah, the Riot. I feel like Riot would be crazy to do that.
No, they wouldn't be. I can guarantee you right now. No, I'll tell you why. Riot knows how much bad will that Blizzard has as a company. Riot knows that a lot of people are more willing to give the Riot MMO a chance than to give Last Titan or the next expansion a chance. Unless the next expansion's name is literally WoW 2 after the Last Titan, people are willing to be like, I'll wait for WoW. I'll go play Riot MMO and then try again. I'll try it afterwards. Because WoW's always going to be there. But being first at a new game at the scale of the Riot MMO is never going to come again. Like, what's the likelihood of that happening to be there on launch day? You saw New World, how fun that was. People remember that. So everyone's going to see that and be like, I'll pick Riot because WoW's expansion is going to be there. Riot, shit, worst case, I missed the launch of a new expansion. Who cares? But if you miss the Riot MMO's launch and it's an amazing game, you're going to regret that shit. So Riot has that community goodwill that they know for a fact that when they launch, no matter who they launch against, they're going to fuck up that competitor. WoW will be fine. But instead of launching to 5 million sales, they'll launch to 3.5 million sales. So it's not going to hurt WoW like that, but it's enough people on the fence or returning players will not play the Riot MMO. I'll tell you right now. Riot MMO was Classic Plus, I'll pick Riot MMO.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And I'll explain why. I'll explain why. It's controversial, but I'll explain why. The Riot MMO the Riot dev team has done good by the story, by the lore.
How do you know?
Arcane, the comics, the books, the storytelling. Not counting one event in League of Legends, which, to be fair, they stopped the League team from being able to write their own story anymore. That's not allowed anymore.
I used to read those back in the day.
The League team wrote one story, and it was the Shadow. Remember when Viego got introduced? They did the whole event. I forget the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember right now. That shit got retconned. It happened, but the in-game version of the League event didn't happen. So that event still happened, but that official version is like no longer there. It was like Shadowlands. So Shadowlands happened, but Shadowlands didn't happen.
Yeah, aren't they actively like deleting everything from Shadowlands?
They are.
Like,
they are.
Everything. Like I read
great.
it up. I thought Belila was kind of like exaggerating. No, they retcon most of Shadowlands. Like the first ones being the first ones, no longer the case. Now the first ones are actually these aren't the original first ones. These are the next batch, and they were created by the first ones.
Yeah, they are the second ones.
And is the first ones the Titans? Is it something else? This greater threat? The greater threat, you know, like we weren't prepared for what's coming. You know what that is about now? He had a vision of the future, but he doesn't know what's coming. He just felt something that was able to wipe out the universe is coming. He doesn't know what it is. So they retconned it. And the thing is, in some timelines, not every timeline. So it's not even an event that could even happen. They could just be like, it's never happening. And it's canon now. So the jailer woke up from a bad dream and blamed the universe.
What a bitch.
Pretty much what
Sounds like
happened.
me, to be fair.
But no, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Or we're going to end the show here? Any other topics?
What's your favorite fruit?
Kiwi.
Kiwi. I'd say kiwi.
Yeah.
Apple.
An apple away keeps the doctor away. That's why you're unhealthy, Kago.
What the fuck? Nice.
I'm sorry, that was uncalled
You want to
for.
race me, Evan?
Nah, I'm good.
I'll drive down to Atlanta and race you.
I
mean,
live south of
gonna fuck in 2
Atlanta.
minutes.
Where do you live, actually?
Don't dox yourself. I live in Ohio.
He lives next to Jake Paul, by the way.
No, other side.
Other side, okay. But
About
no.
as far away from them as you can be.
Okay.
Somebody in Ohio.
No, that's fair. You any questions, Solheim? Any final questions?
Nah, I think it's been covered, man. I don't know. I feel like we've covered a lot.
Have. But there'll be a link to both Kago and Solheim in the description down below. I'm sure they'll use this in some form as well on their own channels if they want to. This is like a nice show. Thank you guys for coming on. Kago, shout out everybody to let them know where they can find you.
You can find me at YouTube and Twitch at Kago Gaming. I'm pretty much everywhere. And if you play WoW, I run the Saviors Guild, which I'll have some version of it for every form of Classic. And we're even going to retail when Midnight drops. So it'll be fun. If you need a community that does things right and does right by people, feel free to join us.
And Solheim, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube. I'm called Solheim Gaming, or on Kick, Solheim TV, or in your basement.
Very nice. Look in your basement. You might have a content creator in there.
Yep.
But thank you all for watching. My name's Ebenhart. Like and subscribe. If you hate me, be a dedicated hater. Y'all know how it is. Thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.